on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone. All alone.
With beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets.
On the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Holy fuck, coffee is alive. Stop it up.
All alone.
Discussing that heat in the street. Hey, we got just what you need on vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone. All alone. I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone. All alone.
With beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone. All alone.
Try to run the town. Tell them no duck when they hear that sound. How they gon' come up now? Heavy as the head that'll wear that crown. I'm going pound for pound. And if it's by smoke, then we talk all of that. From an ounce to a pound. Take it, they biting this now. Cause my drip right up the sea. How could they be? Give me a couple of rounds. Cause I'm a beast when I'm on vitamin G. You see they start crumbling now. Mad struck, start mumbling now. Get the gist, I ain't reaching for cloud. Plot twist, I'm the one with the keys. Clock glitz, know they look how I freeze. Different continents, I be torn. We living life, making yours look boring. See, we win at the end, it's a spoiler warning. Cause I keep heating up, I might blow the whole planet. They calling me toxic like global warming. But they keep tuning in once again and again. I'm the one at the top, just to form a warning. Truly, I'm De Niro when it come to movies. Get De Niro, entertain the groupies. Habanero if you come pursue me. But I hop on the game, too busy rolled up whenever my girl getting moody. Link up with the gang, we all go insane. Catching them bills on the duty. I'm the stick, see I'm locked in. Bought a box, I was like 10. Back then, used to box, nowadays they ain't throwing hands. Mama said we got more advanced. One thing about me, I adapt, bought a Glock fin. Keep me safe from the block in. The game kept me off the block. Ain't got flex about looting my Ruger. I can shit on you with my computer. See my graphics card costs more than your damn job can afford to pay you. And my monitor, big as hell, detail, so I can see when I spray you. To reload the clip and record the clip is go all say to that SSD. Know a whole lot of trill game heads like me wanna see tuned into that VGP.
Take over the west and the east, and we got just what you need on vitamin G.
Hello. Welcome everybody to this week's episode of the Vitamin G podcast. And it looks like we have dang near full panel. It's a miracle. So these intros are gonna be a little extensive, but it's great to see everyone back. So it looks like we're on a really fun show tonight. Nappy man, how you been? What you been playing? Oh, hold up. My bad.
What's up?
I forgot to unmute you.
God damn
Hey
it.
Nappy, how you been, man? What you been playing?
I've been doing good. Mostly this week has mostly been about retro gaming. So we've been playing on our GameCube emulator where we're playing The Legend of Zelda's Wind Waker. And my girl, she was happy because there was this thing that you used to do that I didn't know you could do on the Wind Waker, where you can take a Game Boy Advance, hook it up to your GameCube, and play as a little green like minion, and basically you get to drop bombs, make Link float in the air, give him invincibility. It was just like all this crazy stuff. So mostly we've been doing a little bit of retro gaming. As far as controller reviews, I got 2 out. I got the this controller right here, the Nexi Master P1, which is a controller for PC, Nintendo Switch, Android, iOS, the basic stuff. And as far as the mobile scene, I got the Razer Kishi Ultra that I just posted a review on. So this controller is for Android, iOS 15 and up because of USB-C port. It can stretch also to fit tablets as well. It has 2 programmable buttons, and it's actually a pretty full-fledged controller, and it can work on your PC by plugging a USB-C cable to USB-A cable to your PC. So yeah, and other than that, been pretty much just gaming. Starting to get a little warmer outside. Just been chilling. Oh, so I did play Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. So far it's pretty interesting how they have the stats all the way up where you can't turn RTX off, but I was able to run it on my gaming laptop that has a 10 series graphics card, which in theory it shouldn't work, but it did. And I was able to lower the settings enough to get a playable experience at 1080p, or actually I knocked it down to 900p, and it played pretty well. And it's also Steam Deck verified, which is also interesting because Square Enix made it seem like that game was going to be like this intensive game, but it's not as intensive as they made it seem. That was just another thing to point out. But Final Fantasy Rebirth is actually pretty fun. And also I played Freedom Wars, the game that got ported over to PC. Actually, it's a pretty fun game.
Okay.
And that's about it.
Right. Let's see. And I'm gonna get on down to a certainly missed co-host that we haven't heard from in quite a while. The first one in the building today. Kofi, how you been, man? What you playing?
Wow, I'm finally back. Lots of vacation and money spent on things that aren't gaming for once. And really happy to be back because I have been gaming a lot, even though I haven't really been socializing on Twitter as much or uh, here, unfortunately. So I guess I'll start with most of November. I've been playing a game that was developed by Image Epic, which is a JRPG company that has been defunct for, I think, 10 years. The game that they made was published by Capcom. It never was localized. It's only on PSP, but you can get it through emulation, so I know Nappy's going to know this. It's called Last Ranker. I started playing it like 2 years ago, never really got to touch it, but when I was on one of my vacations, I had a lot of time with my Vita, and I really dove into it, and I'm in the final, probably entering like the final act, I'd say fourth of the game. The reason why I bring up this game is it has a combat system that it is so fun because of its marriage between many turn-based games that we have kind of considered from the golden age. And I'll try to name an example. It's almost like a hybrid between Legend of Dragoon, Xenogears, and Final Fantasy for its original ATB system, where basically you only control one person. His name is Zieg, and he is able to at all times use two different tools to fight. He can have a shield and a sword. He could have a gun and a sword, and you can kind of mix and match what weapons Zig holds. There are certain combos that you can enter with these combats, but what I think keeps it interesting is even though it is turn-based, there's the pressure of the ATB. The ATB bar that you have and your opponent is hidden. So you don't really know when your opponent is going to attack. And what you find is, and also the other really cool thing about this game is blocking is in real time. So when your enemy comes at you, they have like fighting attack patterns. It's almost like you're playing a fighting game where they go like high, high, low. And you only learn how to defend yourself through just experiencing like fighting somebody you've seen for the first time. Like if you're in real life, if you're fighting somebody, you don't know what they're going to go for first. Maybe they'll go for the head. Maybe they'll go for the body. So you take some hits, and then you start to learn like, oh, okay, this guy, he uses a really big hammer. So he always goes for these dramatic strikes. The mechanics allow you to like go for armor damage or health damage. So you can enter like a break or status, a break or staggered status, you and your opponent. So you have to watch out for when you enter that state because you take a ton more damage. Then they have like limit breaks, and the limit breaks Zieg uses are learned from the most talented ranker warriors that he encounters, and they're like the most over the top Final Fantasy VIII inspired or Final Fantasy VII, 10 inspired moves. And it is a really, really fun game. In my opinion, what's interesting is while the story is not blowing me away, there's a lot of like motion captured and a lot of production that went into this PSP exclusive. And for it to not see the light of any other shore other than Japan, is really shocking. So I hope at some point to post a review on Twitter. But that game has been really fantastic. The next one is, of course, Legend of Heroes. I just finished it. It's called Kai no Kiseki. It is, I'm losing count. It's either the 14th or the 15th installment in the Trail series. There are 4 arcs in the Trail series overall. This is the 3rd chapter in the 4th arc. And again, it takes a story with a character named Van. What makes him unique is he has a morally gray personality or character. So he has no problem teaming up with people who are known to be either murderers or really just villainous and okay hurting people left and right. And he has no problem working with people who are considered the greatest heroes of their region. So that type of experience has been amazing. I make an argument for anybody who's interested in Trails. Keep your eyes open this year. As you probably have heard, the original first game in the series is getting a remake. It is getting a worldwide release at the end of this year. It will be coming to Steam. It will be coming to Switch. It will be coming to PlayStation. And this is the series that convinced me, once again, yes, to learn another language. And I have no regrets from that. So for everybody else to see an opportunity to see this first chapter about Estelle in the wonderful kingdom of Liberal has me really, really excited. I feel like I should go on some sort of Twitter campaign to have people really jump on and start to enjoy this series. So those are the 2 main games I've been playing. I'm about to start playing Visions of Mana. That is next. Oh, and I'm basically at the end of Astrobot. I typically am going a little bit slower with Astrobot because my sons actually have seen me play all of it. And they love Astrobot. They just are so fascinated with these characters that I see, and I go, "Oh my gosh, it's Rudy Roughnite!" And they're like, "Who's Rudy Roughnite?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah." I go into my whole tangent, and they go, "Well, I want to see that game." And so they've been ramping up on all these PlayStation IPs that have, either been long gone or some are still current. But that has been quite a ride. So yeah, Astrobot has been another game, and then of course, Omar and I were just talking that. I love Metroidvanias, and I couldn't resist buying Nine Souls. I bought it like in the middle of December. Nine Souls is so good. I,
Right?
I'm only at I'm getting towards the second boss. So,
Oh,
I
okay.
haven't been too much into it, but it has all the production and quality I feel like of a Hollow Knight, but it has its own twist, and I believe the developer's Taiwanese. So it's kind of got like a lot of culture that you might experience if you were to visit that country. Uh, I have not spent enough time in that culture to know for sure, but the influence I can see it immediately, especially through names and some of the ways they tell stories. So yeah, if you like a tough Metroidvania that kind of plays like with Souls-like mechanics, like punishing difficulty,
Key-
getting parries correct, Nine Souls is
Keyword,
one for you.
keyword on top, eh? This is absolutely not easy.
Yeah, it is not easy. There was one boss I was like, I think I died 19 times before I was like,
Which
Lord
one?
have mercy. Um,
Is it the one
the
with the
centaur,
spear?
yeah, the centaur with the spear.
Yeah, he is iffy because the issue is his fight. No matter how many parry you do, you're gonna take damage.
Yeah,
There is no perfect parry. You can actually cheat them, eh? That's what actually happened to me in literally the first time I fought him. Basically, when he does his charge attack, if you bait him all the way to the laser and you dodge at the end, or you have enough aid to tank his charge attack, he literally go into the laser and die there.
on the left side.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking that because there's another boss. Oh no no no! I don't know if we're talking. I know what you're talking about, Omar. I killed that one that way, but I'm talking about the other spear boss, like the centaur boss. You can't kill him that
Are you
way.
talking about the main first boss, the red one?
Yes. Like when you
Oh,
beat him, you unlock Kuafu, the big
yeah,
bear.
yeah. He was fun to fight.
Yeah, I mean,
He is actually your first genuine hurdle. If
yes,
you
yes,
can't beat him,
yeah.
fair and I literally beat him with 1 inch of life left, and
Same
I'm
here.
proud of that. Like at
Y-
least I beat him fair and square.
yes,
We gotta
I
talk
totally
about it
agree.
off. We gotta talk about it off air because it's a
Absolutely.
contest right now.
You definitely got to catch up on that. There's a couple things else I've been. I briefly got back into Helldivers when that new DLC was announced
Fuck
during.
you. How many times did I invite you?
You did, and I was deep into
Damn.
Trails. So yeah, totally true. Omar's like, "Are you gonna play Helldivers? Are you gonna play Helldivers?" I was like, I want to, but I really want to finish Trails. And but yes, Omar is totally right. I think I had to turn you down like 4 or 5 times as bad. And no, I have not yet bought Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2 Black, even though that is like the only game I know that I've beat 7 times back to back, no regrets. I cannot wait to replay that game an 8th time. Of course, with all the gore that Sigma 2 did not have. So yeah, that's super hype. But I'm sorry, that was a long rant. Oh, you're muted, Pharaoh.
I'm muted. Oh,
Now
Actually,
you're not.
no.
Oh, okay.
I can hear
thought
him.
you were muted.
yeah. No, I just making sure you were done with your intro. Jubei, man, how you been? What you been playing?
Yo, I'm actually playing Dragon Age Inquisition right now.
Okay.
Just
Not Veilguard?
no, not Veilguard.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't really been playing a crazy bunch, but
Which character are you? Which class are you?
I'm a rogue.
Yeah, I think it's better than mage.
Yeah, I mean, I could have just built, that Knight Enchanter, but I didn't want to do that.
Okay. And is that it for your intro, Jubei?
Yeah,
All right, cool.
shit.
And
Hmm.
last, no, not last but not least, Omar, how you been, man? What you been playing?
Stop. Yeah, actually quite a lot. So last week I finished. So I have finished Legacy of Kain,
Okay.
the remaster 1 and 2. With the second one, I had a game-breaking glitch, literally close to the final area in the game. So I watched the rest on YouTube. Um, Terrible gameplay, but interesting story. The first one was great gameplay and boring story up until the end. It mirror each other if that makes sense. Other than that, I finished a Metrovania called Ender Lilies Magnolia. This is the sequel to Ender Lilies. That came like a few years ago, a couple of years ago. It's one of the best Metrovania I've ever played. I will put it up there next to Ori.
Okay.
It I love Metrovanias in general, but what I also love is when you control other party members and one button does that. So, for example, Oninaki. I love Oninaki. That's another game. Folklore. I love Folklore. All these games make it so that each
Did you
button
just say
from
folklore?
yeah, Folklore. Yeah,
You talking
yeah.
about the
The
PS3 game?
PlayStation. No, the PlayStation 3 game.
Yeah, the PS3 game.
Yeah.
Oh dang! All right, my bad.
Yeah, no. It have the same gameplay as Folklore, only it's Metrovania style. If you think that's great, look up Oninaki from Square Enix. Amazing game. But yeah, I can't stress it enough. Get it. It's on PlayStation and PC. I'm not sure it's on Xbox. I think it's on Xbox, but not sure. Other than that, what did I finish? I did beat Metal Gear, but that's a long time ago, a while ago. Yeah, Kofi talked about it, Nine Souls. I'm playing it right now. He said it best. If you love Metrovania, but you also love the Souls franchise, This one is best described as indie Metrovania of Sekiro. Like, if you play Sekiro, you're gonna love this. If you hate Sekiro, you're gonna hate this. Um, I'm not that far to talk about the in and out of the game. I will say that you gotta make sure to level up quick and put them levels in use, cause it make night and day different with your upgrade system, and I'm loving that. The puzzles, the what you call it, the map is a little bit on the iffy side. Is a big map. Other than that, I also finished a game called Turbo Kid. It's another Metrovania, and this one you actually. So there is apparently a movie of that game. I never saw the movie. Also, there is an episode from that gaming theory that
Secret levels.
yeah, precisely. Yeah. Um. So you're a dude, and you ride a bicycle, and you have a gun. Think Mega Man-esque.
I like the
And
Mega Man Secret Levels episode. I was just that it was so short.
yeah. So what I love about this game is there are puzzles that can only be solved by your bike, and also boss fight. Mostly every single boss fight incorporated the bicycle, where you actually need to. So basically, not only is it a bike, it's also extreme bike. It's fun. It's unique. I love unique games like that. But yeah, being busy. What's that about to talk about me?
Okay, right. And certainly, last but not least, the our straggling final member that made this a complete 6-man panel we haven't had in quite a while. Hero man, how
Wait,
you
he's
been? What you
here?
been playing?
What's up, guys?
How
It
you
has
been?
been quite some time.
Happy
I've
New
been.
Year. Yeah, you haven't been on here in a
Yeah,
while.
Happy New Year. This
I
is the
know.
first time
Happy New
hearing from
Year,
you of the
fellas.
year.
I know,
Seriously,
man.
all of it.
My birthday was at the beginning of the year. Then like
Birthday.
a little bit after, I got sick, and I was like down out for a little bit. Um, and so a lot of it was just like recovering, and so I was just laying around doing nothing. But it did give me a lot of time to game, and I've been playing way too many games that I can't manage at any given time. But I am glad to be back here. Of course, because everybody else is playing it, playing Marvel Rivals, absolutely love it. I can't say anything more wonderful about the game, and it's not that great, but it's very, very fun. It's easy to get into, it's easy to put down, and you move on from there. The game that's really been stealing a lot of my time lately is Jurassic World Evolution 2. I'm a huge fan of like management sims, from theme park
Mm.
to city skylines
Oh, do you like Roller Coaster Tycoon?
to Roller Coaster Tycoon,
I love that.
2 Point Hospital, 2 Point Campus, and what better? I love Jurassic Park, so it's absolutely the one game I always wanted for a very long time, and I just kept forgetting about it. And then one day it popped up on PS Plus, so grabbed it. Been loving it ever since. Currently running through the original Jurassic Park storyline, with everything that comes with that. So there's a lot of storms, a lot of raptors getting loose, and a lot of people getting eaten. But I'm doing my best, and we manage it and making our way through. I've actually been in rare time and playing all 3 systems at once. For the Switch, I broke down and finally got Nintendo Switch Online, because I really wanted to play Pokemon trading card game, the original one from way back on the Game Boy. It was Game Boy Color game, I believe. That to this day is the best video game edition of the Pokemon trading card game. I don't know why Game Freak won't ever do it again. And there's a mobile version that's a bit more card collecty than it is video game or trading card game battling. I don't get it. So I've been playing a lot of that with a couple of old N64 games. Jet Force Gemini I've jumped back into.
What? Jet Force Gemini, the best.
Yeah, like it's been a really good time. And on the Xbox side, I am playing Indiana Jones. Um, I wanted to see what all the hype was about. I figured I'd play another game made by like a Universal company. Um, and I'm having a good time with it so far. It's an interesting game. I'll admit, like I think I said before, like I was like, I don't really know who wants an Indiana Jones game. And not that there's anything wrong with Indiana Jones, just like who's
Kind of like a
thinking
dormant
about it.
IP.
Yeah. And it's just like we had the last movie a couple years ago. And honestly, I just didn't think we'd really see any more Indiana Jones, period. If nothing else, Uncharted, Tomb Raider, and all of those could sort of take the flame and continue going. But Indy, I thought we were punching Nazis, punching fascists, so far as they say in the game.
Oh, so basically Elon Musk, I say you.
Exactly. Whipping them. So it's really fun. Uh, it's interesting because there's a lot of stuff that like I think on the surface annoyed me, but now I sort of get it. Like I'm used to actiony games, so when Nathan Drake vaults over a thing, like he just leaps over it. He's a young, healthy, spry 20-year-old man. When Indiana Jones does it, he moves a little slower, and that's also because like while he's an adventurer, like he's a archaeology professor. Like he's not going to really move at the speed of everything else, and he does a bit more, much more spy work than shooting people in the face. But it's still really, really fun. I recommend it. And of course, it dropped after the direct, so I had to play some Ninja Gaiden Black 2. Is that what it is?
Ninja
Ninja
Gaiden.
Gaiden Black 2, yeah.
Yeah. I think I only finished
Ninja
one
Gaiden
level.
2 Black, I guess, would really be the correct.
Yeah, is it 2 black or is it? I
It would
don't
be 2
remember
Black,
which one.
No,
actually.
so basically I think it's the black version of two, if that
Right,
makes sense.
right.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So it brings back old college memories of playing Ninja Gaiden. It hasn't gotten too terribly frustrating yet, but I'm sure that's coming very soon. So it just what a wonderful stealth drop from Xbox. So I've been gaming a lot, man. Like I'm having a good time with it. Unfortunately, some things got put on the back burner, so I got to get back to Metaphor. I got to finish Metaphor because I like the game. There's that. What a wonderful game.
It's just long.
Yeah, it just takes a little bit, but like I'm enthralled every time I turn the story on. Like I'm into it. I'm like, this is cool. I want to see where it's going. Some JRPGs I tune out. Like I just get Unicorn Overlord was I just started tuning out. I didn't care anymore what was going on. I kind of had a general sense of where everything was going, but after I've got to have at least I don't know how much hours I have in that game, but like I spent a lot of time in that game. And I know I'm at the very end of it all, but I was just like, okay, I just don't care what any of you people have to say anymore. So I just skip through the story and go straight to the battles. Not the case for Metaphor. Love every moment of it. Love everything these guys are talking about. I think it's really, really cool. So yeah, man, that's it. It's been a lot of gaming. And I'm gonna continue this way at least for the next couple of months. I don't got anything heavy. Cannot wait for the last week of February. Nappy, Kofi, you know what time it is. We're gonna hunt some monsters and do what we gotta do.
Oh.
Yep.
I need that theme song playing in like on my alarm or something. That I want the original PS2 theme.
Yeah, so Metaphor. That's another game I got to get back into. I haven't played. I've been my gaming list looks a lot like Zero's, except on the Xbox side, I've been playing Guiding Black, Indiana Jones, and Metaphor. I got some other games I've sprinkled in there. I didn't start Ninja Gaiden, the remake yet. I started with Ninja Gaiden 1. I went to Gaiden Black. Ninja Gaiden 1 is kicking my ass so far. The camera sucks. The camera's absolutely horrible, and like
That's all right.
they abuse you when it comes to like health and stuff like that. So it definitely has its challenges, but I'm enjoying it. I also been playing Sifu. I've been playing the Quarry. I've been bouncing around a bunch.
Seafood?
Oh, you've
Man.
been playing the Quarry. We still gotta do our co-op.
We can do co-op on the Quarry. I got it. I got it on Xbox. But as long if it has the cross, like $14 on Xbox, and I was like, oh, it was on Game Pass for a
How are
while.
you doing? How are you doing with Sifu? Because
Yeah,
that shit
that's
is
what I really want to
difficult.
ask. Yeah,
I cleared like the first level on Sifu, and like I got put away in the other games, so I got to go back. But the thing is, I know that like there's like a like a timing and kind of rhythm in Sifu that you kind of lose over time. So
Yeah.
yeah, I got to get back in where I'm like lost. Um,
Tell you, man, Seafood's it's still one of my favorite games of the past couple of years.
yeah, it's really good. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much what I've been playing late. Um, I got it. I dove back in Madden, but then the Ravens lost, so deleted that off my.
Nothing matters anymore.
wait, what's that to do with Madden?
No, no,
Yeah.
nothing.
I don't want to. I don't want to see. I don't want to see a football for the next 6 months. We have after the way that game ended. Yeah, you don't. I don't need.
I don't blame you.
And we got the same stupid Super Bowl again.
Yeah.
Go
And I
Birds.
think Kofi and time.
I hope so.
I think
Because just like you, I know what it feels like to lose a big game.
the talent. I think for you guys, I just think the talent deficit is too big.
Yeah.
So
Well, at least we're healthy enough to try.
Saquon been running for like 200 yards a game.
Like somebody stop him.
The only thing that stopped him this week was his calf. If it weren't for his calf injury, he would have ran for something. He would have ran for like 200 on him.
Easily.
But yeah. So you got 2 weeks to get that calf right. So hopefully, and Super Bowl's on his birthday. So yeah, I got him.
Yep.
I got him winning. So,
And shout out to. Oh, never mind. I can't say that on the podcast.
say what?
I was gonna say shout out to the exciting white. I don't know if people follow Philly like that. Oh,
Oh.
I'm sorry. Hold on 1 second. I'm about to die.
Sounds like a game. Well, that said, we can go ahead and roll into what's on your mind. There was a couple topics on the list, and talk about topics in the what's on your mind portion of the show. So, and then we'll start asking if they have anything else that's on their mind at the topic. So I know Omar specifically wanted to say something about Dynasty, so I'm gonna just let him take the lead on it, and then topic. Here we go ahead. So what is it that you want to talk about in regards to the new Dynasty?
Okay, so you should have told me. I would have pulled it up. But yeah, I forgot the exact. I think it's around 21 million.
Oh, you just want the sales numbers? I can.
I have it here.
Oh, okay.
So Kuwait Tecmo released their numbers, and at number one, Dynasty Warrior with 21 million.
Yeah, series sales number.
Yeah,
lifetime
but-
sales.
Yeah, I know, but what's interesting is the newest Dynasty Warrior is doing so well on Steam, but also other platform as well. It feels like a revival to the franchise, because the last one before last one was so bad, it was close to killing the franchise.
Wait, what was that one called?
Dynasty Warriors? I don't know, but it was one point where they just like it was kind of like Assassin's Creed for Ubisoft, and they just kept pumping out.
I
Dynasty.
agree.
They just
It was like almost annualized.
Yeah, and that's when they kind of degraded. But they took some time. They went back to the drawing board, and they made a really good Dynasty. I haven't bought it yet, but I am looking forward to picking it up.
You played the demo?
No, I didn't play the demo. I already know I want the game, so I don't need to play the demo to figure out that I want it.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been a fan of Dynasty Warriors. I used to have a great time with Dynasty Warriors back in the day during my childhood. Yeah, it's like it's good mindless fun, but it seems like this one, from what I've heard of people who played it, it's not the same mindless fun anymore. There's a little bit more
No, there
strategy
is,
involved that
yeah,
you have to consider, because if you don't, you'll be flanked by multiple armies just mopped up.
yeah. So
Mm.
there is a lot of skills in this game, and you can shoot from a shit ton of weapons, and each weapon plays differently. Furthermore, you as a character can transform to become someone like Guan Yu, for example,
Ooh.
and he plays differently than you, of course. And what I love about this is, yeah, you gotta be tactical with this one. And also, a simple admiral can kick your ass if you're not careful. Because now they're like mini boss fight.
Yeah.
These, mm, and they're no longer mindless. They do damage, they do great damage, and they have skills themselves. So, and what I love about it, what they did a few things. They, one, gave you a block button and a parry button. By doing that alone, they opened up to a whole lot of gameplay mechanics with this game. And then they made the camera a little bit closer, so you're more likely to be playing it almost like a hack and slash game, if that makes any sense. And then they gave the enemies difficulty, and the rest is history. As for the story, I have no idea what's happening with the story. It's Dynasty Warrior,
It's the same
but
story over and over again.
yeah, but for the gameplay alone, this is absolutely a must play if you're a Dynasty Warrior fan. So yeah, I'm just happy that Dynasty Warrior is revived because I picked up the previous one and that was so terrible. I I wept for how the mighty have fallen, and the mighty is back again. It got to show that all they did is tweak things, add a few mechanics, and the game feels brand new.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Dynasty Wars 9 being the last one was 9, I believe, and
Yeah,
it wasn't
9.
that great at all.
So it went
Oh, I forgot
Mm.
about
so
9.
it went 97 was the first Dynasty Warriors, and 2000 was 2, 2001 was 3. It took a year off. 2003 was 4. Yeah, they started doing it every other year.
Yeah.
Then it was 5, 6 every other year, and then they took a break between 2007 and 2011. Dynasty 7, then 2013, Dynasty 8, and a break. Dynasty Warriors
There was
9.
also a Dynasty Wars Online, I think.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
remember that. That got shut
yeah,
down.
there's a bunch of,
Um,
but yeah, I'm just quoting the main line. Then it was Dynasty
mhm.
Warriors 9, and then Dynasty Warriors Origin. But in between that, the numbers that I gave, there were a bunch of smaller Dynasty Warrior games. Like, wasn't there like a? I even think there was like a Gundam Dynasty. Yeah, Dynasty Warriors Gundam. There's a whole
Yes,
bunch
yeah.
of them. Like, yeah, it
Yeah.
wasn't. I just went over the mainline ones, but they had a bunch of smaller ones, and it was like they were Dynasty
I
Warrioring you
mean,
to death.
the One Piece is partly like them, Pirate Warriors instead of Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Oddly enough, the spin-off games had just gotten better than the original series, like the Legend of Zelda one and the
Yeah,
Fire
Age of
Emblem one.
Calamity,
Oh,
Hyrule
Yeah.
Warriors.
there was 3 Dynasty Warriors Gundam. It was Dynasty Warriors Gundam, Gundam 2, and Gundam 3. So yeah, there
Yeah.
was Warriors Orochi 1 and 2, Z 3,
Samurai Warriors.
Blade Storm,
Yep.
Samurai Warriors. They had Fists of the North Star. That was a Dynasty Warriors game. Warriors Legend of Troy. They had a whole bunch. Um, One Piece Pirate Warriors, and
Yep.
then that had a bunch of spinoffs. Like Hyrule Warriors. um, so they made a bunch of Dynasty Warrior style games. It got to the point where the gameplay loop kind of got a little played out. So good that they took a little break, came back, and did something. So yeah, good. I'm good to see that it's back because Dynasty Warriors. to me it's a very strong franchise if it's done the right way. So
Another interesting surprise would be Neo. Just two Neo beating other franchises like that with the numbers is insane, considering there is only two Neo IPs. And
Neo was 7.5 million in sales. I mean, I don't think that's a crazy number.
I mean,
Like
it's
3.5
literally
million, like no 3
it's
point.
literally it's literally on par with Ninja Gaiden, like which is 7.5 million, and Ninja Gaiden have what, three games, if not more. And
Ninja Gaiden has way more games because Ninja Gaiden goes back all the way
The
to
guy
like
goes
yeah,
all the way back.
Like to the
Nintendo and
2D.
Sega. It goes back to
and
Nintendo,
even
Nintendo and Sega.
Neo is higher. It's on the same level as Atelier franchise. Like that's insane. There's close to 9 Atelier games, I think, if not more.
You're right. No, I think there's like 12 Atelier
Yeah,
games. There's
that's
a
what I'm talking
ton of
about.
Atelier
Yeah,
games.
but like Ninja Gaiden games didn't really pick up like that though until like 360 when they got like super popular. Before then, I mean, they did well enough to keep making sequels, but they were never like, weren't like going crazy for Ninja Gaiden.
And
Over this.
I give credit to
I
Neo. I think that was a labor of love game.
Yeah.
As we know, that they wanted to release the game for forever. And the number one thing I got to compliment for Neo is the combos or the way you can fight with the different attack styles and stances has enough complexity that always makes me want to come back and play that game. Like I love Souls games in general, but in terms of like complexity of combat, Neo is what I want.
I think what beat Neo for me would be Berserker Kazan. Play the
Interesting.
demo.
Okay.
Interesting.
It's
I was
it's so good.
fantastic.
It's so good.
The one thing I
The
will
only
I'm
say,
interested, but
the
I'll be
only thing
shocked.
the only thing I wish it had that Neo have, basically there is the concept where you fight dead enemies and you can get their loot. But with
Mm,
this one, you don't know what you're getting. But with Neo, you know what they have for loot and what you can get out of them. I really wish Kazan did the same. Otherwise, Kazan, from what I played, the demo is insane. I highly recommend it.
hmm.
One last thing, and then I'm gonna let you go because it's a lot have happened and we didn't cover it. So basically, the game Phantom Blade Zero, you guys have
Yeah.
heard about it?
yes.
Yeah.
So one thing that came to fruition is apparently if you die, boss fights are gonna have second forms, and if you die at the second form of the boss fight, when you revive, you can continue with the second form. You don't need to fight the first form. Do you guys think that's a good addition to the whole Souls genre? Not per se genre, but like the concept of boss fight, or do you think it takes away from the actual difficulty and no, you would rather have kept it to the first form only?
I think anything that gives players choice is a good thing. Some people who are traditional Souls players will value that experience of going back and doing it from scratch, if they die. Where there's a lot of other people who will not want to play the game because of its difficulty. So if you can make a mode where it's a little bit easier for some folks and it kind of makes them want to get into the game and allows the game to sell a little better, because it's not taken away from the traditional Souls. They can still do it the way that they like. So it's not hurting them. It's just giving want it a little bit more and easy opportunity to have it.
Aren't there a handful of games just within modern times in general that just do that anyway? Like I don't.
Yeah, most games that have like they stage boss fights provide that option, but Souls games typically don't. They're more punishing that if you don't, got to do it all in the first or on
Most
that
games
one go.
don't. Most games don't offer to continue where you left off. At least from the games that I played.
Right.
Don't they? I mean, I know it's a bit of a different genre, but don't they do it in the new Final Fantasies?
Yeah, they did it in Rebirth.
Mm,
They
they
did
did
it
it on
in.
Rebirth?
I think they did it in Star Wars too, like the Fallen Order game. Like if you died on some of the multi-stage boss fights, it would like pick up at that
Oh,
cutscene.
really?
Yeah, I believe so.
I don't remember that.
Like I'm assuming, like in the original Final Fantasy remake, like the last Sephiroth fight, I feel like if you get to the final phase and die, you do not start all the way at the beginning. I
Yeah,
could be
that
wrong.
might be right. No,
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's probably
but I don't think
I
that
know
because just
Rebirth
because
did it
that
for
entire
sure.
sequence
So
is
yeah,
so long in general.
it's a
Rebirth,
long sequence.
Rebirth and Remake did introduce that, but that's basically because Rebirth and Remake have so many boss fights, have so many layers. It's you can almost call it like a different what you call it
Like a story
boss
point or something.
altogether.
Hmm.
Cause you go to new area, they transform and stuff like that, but you get an actual cutscene. But this one, it's literally in that one boss fight. And for a game like Blade Zero, which I'm pretty sure it's not mimicking, but it's close to a Soul game. I do think that's revolutionary by itself. Uh,
Yeah.
Down the road, we have seen not companies, game do that. Like for example, there is a game called Treasure something Crab Treasure,
Hmm?
and
Another
basically
crab's treasure, yeah.
yeah, basically what this does is when you die, you actually get revived literally at the boss fight area. You don't need to run back all the way to go to the boss. I do think that uh, I think uh, it uh, uh, going off like discovering the boss area should be normal, like fighting enemy and stuff like that. But once you've done so, I do believe there should be a massive shortcut, cause you keep dying over and over again to reach the boss area. It's not fun. I
Wait,
know.
are you being
Yeah,
critical of Souls likes or rogue likes? I'm just curious.
I am critical of Souls like roguelike is different. Roguelike is literally a different genre. But with Souls like once you discover the boss and you got the area mapped out, why shouldn't there be a checkpoint where you can revive at the boss door? Why must you revive? Why must you revive at a bonfire? Or what?
Oh, you're talking like an Elden Ring. Elden Ring does that a lot,
Yeah.
Yeah,
where you'll find a
like
boss door, but you have to go all the way through this castle to find the boss, and you go to the boss, you die, and you start all over. There is no checkpoint between when you got
yeah,
in the castle and when you got to the boss, so you have to start at the beginning.
that's what I mean. Like
Yeah.
this is like here's the thing. I understand the soul genre is all about difficulty, right? But
Mm.
time wasting is not difficulty.
Yeah.
Time wasting is just time
That's
wasting.
what I'm
Which
saying.
But so, like, I agree with you, but what is your difference between the time wasting in a Souls like that and a rogue like?
um roguelike is your so with roguelike is totally different, because with roguelike when you run through a map and you
Mhm.
die, the map completely changes. You get
I
a
see.
totally
So it's
different map.
okay.
But
I see. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
with those game also with roguelike you are farming and you can upgrade your character permanently with certain weapons or unlock new stuff. But with Soul games, like I am not saying that you can teleport to the boss and skipping the entire playthrough. Like your first run, towards the boss should be normal. You should suffer to understand enemy mechanic and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah, I don't disagree with you.
once you reach the boss, like you already done it. Why do you need to do it all over? Because Dev knows that you're gonna die over and over again towards this boss. Why do I need to keep running to get to it only to die on the road? Like that's not challenging. That's not fun. That's time wasting, in my opinion.
You're right. That is a difference between Rogue and Souls. Yeah, I can't really dispute that one.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I will shut up now.
No, but I think you brought up a good thing, and I think it does bring a lot more value.
Hey,
When you
we are getting another Souls-like game pretty soon. That's multiplayer focused. So who
Yeah.
knows? Maybe they got rid of that portion that you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, these like gamers have such limited time nowadays. They have a lot of things that are for their time. Can't be stealing our time by making us like walk all the way back to the dungeon. Um, you know, fighting all the way through a multi-level boss all the time. There has to be a little bit of give and take if you want more of an consistent audience to come back to your game. Because there are some people who play an Elden Ring, they'll die a couple times, they F this, never pick it back up. Even if they enjoyed it up to a certain extent. So yeah. We covered that. There was also what else I want to talk about? What back? I don't want to.
I mean, I know you
Oh.
mentioned it, and I know I'm very late, so you guys probably already talked about this before. But like, did everybody see the secret level?
I watched some of the episodes. I did not watch all of them. I watched the ones that are most memorable to me is the Concord and the Mega Man episode.
Concord memorable?
It was
How?
a decent episode.
I
Okay.
didn't care. I didn't care for the Concord one at all.
It was decent. It wasn't crazy, but it gave you a feel for like the world they were trying to build. You know?
I had with the God of War one, they dropped the ball.
I really like the
Because it's
Mega
not
Man
a
one.
it's not a God of War one. It's a PlayStation one. So it
Mhm.
doesn't. I don't know if you like. Have you guys ever seen? There's an old PlayStation commercial where like all these video game characters are talking about a guy like at the bar, and the guy is supposed to be like the player. Like
Mhm.
it's like that. It's just some kid running through a variety of places, and like if you like look to your left and like, oh, there's Kratos. You know, look to your right, there's the Helldivers, and that type of thing. It might be the worst episode of the entire series.
Damn.
It doesn't do it like my brief review of Secret Level is that I really like it. I'm very glad that they got a season 2 so that they can fix what they did in this one. And for this, it didn't feel like they committed for a lot of the episodes. The last one being the worst offender of them all because it wasn't even built around anything. Like it's just you have an entire catalog of PlayStation IP, and you just decide I'm going to make this original character, basically ride a bike through the streets and being chased, and various PlayStation characters will just pop up at any given moment with no rhyme or reason. We don't care. I'm not interested. Where there's some really good ones. Like I agree with Pharaoh. The Mega Man one is really good,
It's short.
except it's not anything.
Yeah.
Like it's literally nothing.
It feels
And
like
I
a
was like,
pilot.
why would you? I'm sorry. Go ahead. Like
It feels like a pilot.
yeah, or like something somebody made. Like it felt like something somebody on YouTube made. It was like, hey guys, look at this.
Yeah.
And I made this all by myself, and it took me a year. And we would be like, this is dope, man. But Amazon, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Especially with the amount of IPs they're working with.
Well,
Yeah,
I think Capcom only gave them like I think each developer that they went to only gave them a certain amount of they do with it. So I think they were a little bit restricted. I think Amazon only published it. I don't know who actually, was the
Yeah, and
film was
I'd
the
have to
film house.
look
So you
into.
think their hands
Yeah,
were tied?
I don't
Yes,
I
because
don't know if Ty.
I would say depending on the developer they went to, they were given certain, lanes that they could, operate within because the episodes vary by length pretty drastically.
Majorly drastically,
Like
yeah.
some can be like 25 minutes, some can be 7 minutes. It's all over the place as far as the length, what type of content.
Yeah. And universally, the shortest episodes have the most promise, being Sifu and Mega Man.
I need to watch Sequel.
The Sifu one is wonderful, and then you realize it's too short.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh.
it doesn't make any sense.
A lot of
Espe-
safe.
Yeah,
Here.
especially because they have Crossfire in there. That's like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's it's very pretty, but it's nothing.
Yeah.
Like, and what I mean by that is just like, it's just like if you've seen any military movie, if you've watched The Punisher, if you watched anything, like, you've seen this before.
Yeah.
They don't do anything you've never seen before. That being said, Unreal Tournament, excellent episode. Pac-Man is probably my favorite episode of the entire series. Armored Core is cool with Keanu Reeves. And for Warhammer fans, the Warhammer one is really good. Yeah, everything else falls from mid to terrible to okay. But I still recommend everybody go see it as video game folks. It's good. It's a good project.
Yeah, there's some good stuff in there. Now I'll explain why I like the Conquer episode. It did a decent job of world building for a game that we really didn't understand what the damn game was about. When they did that long trailer when they debuted it like a couple months ago. It didn't really give us anything, but I felt like the show actually did, and it gave you a reason to play the game. Kind of wish that the Secret Levels episode kind of coincided with the rest of the game, because it was like they stole something that was very valuable to whoever these groups of people were, and then them releasing that information opened up all the trade routes, which kind of opened up the whole world for all these I guess what word you want to call them, I don't want to call them bandits.
Were they like pirates?
Yeah, I guess space pirates. Let's call them space pirates. So open up all these trade routes for space pirates, traders, and all that they were being heavily taxed by the government beforehand, and their movement was heavily restricted around the galaxy. So now they were open to moving, and I think if they would have released that a little bit earlier, it would have kind of gave people a better understanding of the world that I guess Sony was trying to build for that game, and it could have kind of been I guess space pirates and traders versus whoever the government was who was trying to close up these trade routes back up and gain control over trade route. I think the game would have had a little bit more potential if the Secret Levels episode kind of dropped around the same time as the game. I'm not saying the game would have been a success, but I think it just would have gave people a better understanding of the world they were diving into, because I don't think we really got that pre-release game.
I don't actually disagree. I think that there are two games there are two episodes in Secret Levels that really connect well to what will come, what it's supposed to be coming. Like Concord probably should the Concord episode probably should have been closer to Concord the game.
Yeah.
To give a full rounded view of it all.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people didn't know what Concord was, in the way that we've all seen it. I don't think this is a spoiler, but there's a new Pac-Man game coming out.
Yeah.
That directly ties into the episode of Secret Level.
That makes sense. So
yeah,
you're talking about the Labyrinth one. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of because the Secret Level episode came out first, a lot of people were very confused right up until it was somebody's state of play, and they showed. Oh no, it was the Game Awards.
Yeah.
And they showed the new Pac-Man thing, and that like really got people like, oh, that's why they did that thing. Concord probably could have used that.
Yeah, that's why I said I like the episode. I think it really shined a light on what the game was supposed to. But yeah, and then secret levels was not one of the what's in your minds, but I'm glad you brought it up because it was on your mind. And let's see. Also, we wanted to get. I don't want to miss on anything. Oh, Ubisoft closed another studio, which is something that they've been doing over the past 3 months. I think this is the fourth studio they closed in 3 months. And I think this round of layoffs, at least like 100 and around roughly
Yeah,
150
close
employees.
to 100,
150.
people.
Yeah, about 150 getting dropped from this particular studio. I did some research. The studio is based out of London, and this particular studio specialized in music games, which kind of like died in popularity over time.
Mhm.
So I think it was kind of inevitable that studio would close if they couldn't pivot doing something else. If all they did was like rhythm. So, but yeah, I know Omar. That was one that you brought up. Do you have any thoughts in regards to Ubisoft closure?
It's just an unfortunate one, but it strengthens the idea that Ubisoft can seem to be surviving on its own, and I would not be surprised if it get bought
Well,
anytime soon.
I think they're just gonna keep getting smaller, like
Yeah,
Embracer and like
I think
Square.
they're no longer the what they used to be,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, like Embracer. I think Embracer had to shrink. Um, Square had to shrink. Um, Sony has shrunk the past like year and a half. Um, yeah, I think the only big company that hasn't shrunk a little bit in gaming is probably like what Microsoft and Tencent. I mean,
Nintendo.
Nintendo's not really that big as far as like studios go. Like um, they kind of keep everything small in house. Budgets are kind of low. They're not making like big budget games. Um, Sega even closed a little bit of uh not much, but I had a pruning. So yeah, it's something that's running rampant.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I think really it's just live service and free to play are killing a lot of
Yeah,
other genres because people aren't buying other games.
I agree.
They're staying in the free to play world. And
I agree with that.
really now that Fortnite and Roblox are not individual games, they are these like worlds with hundreds and maybe thousands of games inside of each of them. Um, it makes it even harder to get to, that are in those worlds to buy other games. It does because like I didn't even know how big Fortnite was until my kids downloaded it and they wanted like the Lego stuff. And I just thought there would be like a little Lego mode or something like that, but it was like no, it was like 100 Lego games, 100 different ones. Like man, then I saw it was a hundred other of a bunch of different games. So like when you got that going on and people are finding all
I
these other
mean
games
there
inside of a
I
game.
mean,
there
you
is
can
also
access that from your phone too.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah
crazier part.
yeah,
there is also the Fortnite karting game.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. There's so
So
much in there. Yeah, but there's more than karting. I mean, there's like whole like yeah, the karting is just what they advertise because I guess that was like a big boat. But there's a whole bunch of like little games and that people can play and that pulls people away from buying um a variety of titles. They can play a
Yeah.
bunch of them for
I,
free.
I also want to speak to that, and maybe Nappy wouldn't be able to kind of piggyback on what I'm about to say. a lot of people in the JRPG community that I hang out with love those action service-based games like Wuthering Waves, like Genshin
Yep.
Impact.
Yeah.
Like if
Yep.
they're playing Trails, they're probably playing 50% Trails, 50% Wuthering Waves, or 50% Trails, 50% Genshin. I personally don't care about Wuthering Waves or Genshin, but like if let's say I follow 10 people that are huge Trails fans, I would say 5 of them are playing either Wuthering or Genshin some of the time.
Hey, I can
So I know a lot of their time goes into those types of things.
I can see that.
I mean, you
Yeah.
also
I
got
didn't touch
PGR. You got
Wuthering.
Punching Green Ravens. You got that. What was a zoneless game? You got
Oh, right. Yeah.
Snowbreak
Oh, for
Containment
sure.
Zones.
Zenless Zone Zero. Yes.
Yeah, Zenless Zone Zero. Like it's like these ever since mobile games start becoming 3D based and the
Mhm.
anime is so easy for phones to run now. It's a
Followed by
different
Star
ball
Rail.
game.
All right. So
Yeah.
I mean, all right. So as an RPG game, one of the worst parts of being an RPG game is eventually the story comes. Right. Like that's especially like if you really love a game, you love a particular world. Like I know Kofi, like you love a game like Grandia or a game like Wild Arms. The fact that you don't really have the opportunity to revisit those worlds like you would like to, it's kind of bittersweet in a way. And these
Mhm.
live service like RPGs and things like that kind of uh take away that effect of that, you're no longer allowed to like or no longer allowed to revisit the world in the way that you remember. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I think that's a really good description, actually. Yeah.
like a Genshin Impact or a Wuthering Wave or hell even Final Fantasy Ever Crisis live service game now. There's a bunch of little um JRPG live service games that are, thriving. And I think it's just because they have an end. And there's a lot of people who love JRPGs that don't want the story that they fall in love with. The end.
Oh,
Yeah.
I gotta ask because I know we got OG over here. What your thoughts on the patent that's being filed by I think Sega for Skies of Arcadia?
I am cautiously optimistic because
No,
sometimes.
not Sega, Capcom.
Whoa. You talking about? Wait, you said Skies of Arcadia, not Capcom? No, you're right. It is Sega.
yeah. It's
Capcom,
no, that's
right?
Sega. That is
No, it's
Sega.
not
Sega
Capcom.
Oh,
owns
Sega. My bad.
Sega
You're good.
owns Sky for
Yeah,
Arcadia IP.
I'm Skies. I'm cautiously optimistic because it could just be that eventually they'll get to it,
I hope they
and
get a
that
new
could
IP.
be 5 years from
I
now or
hope
something
so.
like that.
I hope
But
so.
it could also be something like really small, like let's license out the soundtrack to be referenced in the next Sonic game. Like, oh, like you're playing Sonic, you want to hear like Skies of Arcadia's soundtrack in Sonic? Yay! Like they've done that kind of stuff before. They're
Really?
like, oh yeah, because let's be honest, Sega has a lot of iconic music, a lot, right? Whether it be I mean, remember what was that game? Burning Rangers that was
Oh
used in
wow.
Phantasy Star, or
Yeah.
Sammy Sega. Remember what was it called? Do 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 do. Oh, Daytona. Daytona, let's run away. They have all these iconic songs, and they get used in different games all over the place, right? You might be playing Yakuza and go into the arcade and hear Sammy Sega, so that could be what they're doing, licensing out the soundtracks from that game,
Hmm.
and that's all we're getting. That would be like
Hmm.
us hyping it up to the ceiling and then hear the soundtrack. Oh, that's wonderful. So
Yeah.
I hope,
Could to
I
be it
pray that
feels
it's more
like
than that.
with the amount of old IP being revived by PlayStation, by Nintendo. I'm not sure about Nintendo, by Capcom and stuff like that. I would not be surprised if we're actually getting this game remake because I never played the original one, so that would be my first time playing Sky of Arcadia.
Yeah,
It is such a
guys,
fun game. I love this. Oh,
so
I actually
good.
love the story.
Pharaoh knows him.
Uh,
My good friend from middle school. That's his favorite RPG of all time,
As
and
Arcadia?
yeah, Skies of
Yeah.
you remember Ricky
Yeah.
Shepard?
Yeah.
That's his favorite game of all time, and I always think of him when that game comes up, in media, because I'm like, man, he would be so excited to see that game back. But
If it's come out, hit them up.
Like
Who's
Oh,
that?
absolutely. We still text.
because like I think about certain games, like if they came out as a live service, like
Mm.
I think it would be hard to not live in the world. Like if I got caught into like a Lunar live service game, I think I'd be stuck in that world. Like if Lunar was like a live
Yeah. I would not be able to deny it either.
or
They're
like
like, hey, we're doing a live service game of like Lunar, and it's like a legit good game. I'm like, I gotta play it.
yeah.
I'll try it.
Especially
Mm.
like I feel like Lunar was like one of the originators of like the wife.
Yeah.
I feel like you had like a whole harem with you basically.
Oh God.
I mean, you're not wrong. It was. I'm trying to like make sure I don't miss out on some other game that came out before it, but technically those are Sega Genesis games.
I didn't say
Like,
it was but it was definitely one of them for sure.
but yeah, you're right. Like, because you and I, we played the complete version on PlayStation, but before, like in the '80s, Lunar, like Silver Star and Lunar Eternal Blue, the not complete versions, those are pretty close to like the pioneering harem game. I mean, there was like not Alundra, but there was another game that did that on Genesis. Not Albert Odyssey. This is a game I can't think of it, but no, you're kind of right. It's one of them.
Yeah,
It's
up,
one of them for sure.
It's up there for sure. You go to the hot springs and you get the scenes where they gotta
Oh, I forgot about that.
they gotta censor the nudity and all that. So like,
Yeah, the bromides.
it's up there. It's up there. Um so and then they had the book and the strategy guides where they had, the very risque art inside. So I mean like it was
Yeah,
definitely up there.
bromides. You're right. Bromides were like that is pioneered by Lunar for sure. I don't think any other game was doing that.
Yeah, so I mean,
Trails ended up copying that in the Cold Steel saga.
Lunar gets re-released in a couple months. If you guys want to partake in one of the original waifu games, of Lunar one remaster. I don't think it's still on remaster. Like I don't see any difference
Yeah,
with the game.
it's a remaster.
But yeah, so I think we pretty much cleared what's on your mind. We are about an hour and 20 minutes into the show. I think we are ready to dive into our topics for today. Got work tomorrow, so try to pretty nice manner. So Thursday was a pretty busy day for Xbox. They had the developer direct. It was probably I don't know. It was up there. It was one of the better shows. Very
It was
competitive.
amazing.
Yeah, it's probably their best developer direct, but I don't want to go too far and say like it was like their best show in the past like year. I don't want to say that because the Xbox showcase was also amazing.
But that was a showcase. This is direct.
Yeah, this is a direct, but it's definitely their best direct so far. I think this is their third direct. So their third direct is their best direct. And they had a couple bangers that and one that we didn't see coming, Ninja Gaiden. South of Midnight looked
Someone
amazing.
did see it coming.
Yeah,
Shout out to Jubei.
shout out to Jubei. Shout out to Jubei.
Yeah, we saw this.
For sure. I will
I
give
did.
him I will give you your second to gloat first. And Player Obscure 33 looked amazing.
Yeah.
Doom looked great. I mean all 5 games that showed on the showcase, they showed very well. All the games had dates outside of Ninja Gaiden 4. And
Well, like we got a time frame at
they
least.
got a time frame for Ninja Gaiden 4. And I think the developer portion of the show where they got to talk about the game, none of it was too over or underwhelming. It was really good pacing. And I feel like they just nailed it. It was a really, really good show. So with that said, I think everyone walked away from that show pretty much happy and excited because a lot of coming. I think all the games except South of Midnight were coming to other platforms.
Mm-hmm.
So that was definitely something that everyone in the community was looking, and were able to find that they could be excited about type of IP that was present. Um, so with that said, I'm going to get Jubei's reaction first as he wavers Captain Xbox and Captain PlayStation. But I guess this week he's Captain Xbox.
Nah.
And
So it's hybrid.
yeah, he's definitely looking like a hybrid over. Um, what were your thoughts on the state on damn about to say state of play? 'Cause I called you. What are your thoughts on Developer Direct?
Um, I loved it actually. Like I thought it was really dope. I thought the pacing was super good. There wasn't anything that I liked all four games and will be playing them, and all four will also be play anywhere and in Game Pass. So there's no reason for you to not play those games, especially if you have an Xbox.
Yeah, everything's that's
Um,
another thing. Everything's a game. All 5 games.
yep. So like I'm happy. Like I didn't put much into the fact that three-quarters of those games are going to PS5. Like that doesn't really bother me. One of them isn't even made by them to begin with, so who cares? Like
Well, you also got to factor in that like Xbox is probably dropping like I'm starting to think they might drop like
Yeah.
15?
yeah,
15.
You say 15? That's a lot. That's a lot.
Well, you got the 5 that they announced. You got the 4 that they announced because
Yeah, they already May is already packed.
Claire Obscure is a third party. But you got the
yep.
4 that they announced um already. One of them already came out. You got Avowed um coming out in 2 weeks, and after that um and then after that you got Outer Worlds 2.
Not this year,
Outer Worlds 2 is this year. It was 20.
is it?
Yeah,
Damn.
Outer Worlds 2.
Okay.
You got Fable. So I'm already at 6.
Wait, Fable is confirmed this year?
A lot of people are saying that it's pretty much confirmed to come out this year.
But it isn't official,
They haven't announced it yet. I think
right?
it's that's gonna be their that's gonna be
Just to
their
delineate between like things that like for example, Ninja Gaiden is definitely this year because they said 2025,
yeah,
but they haven't said 2025 for
but apparently Fable's supposed to come out this year.
yeah.
You got Call of Duty coming out this year, so I'm already at like 8. Um, then
Doom?
Doom is already in the
Oh,
show,
you
so
already mentioned.
that's already in the 4. Other games from last year were announced. Because you had a bunch of from the showcase last year that was announced that weren't at the uh June showcase. But we're around 12. Oh, like that are announced. Let's see. I mean, I'll go to the.
Clockwork Revolution, maybe?
I don't think Clockwork will come out this year, just because I think the year is kind of loaded, and I don't know where that would release. If it released, I would guess it'd have to release in November or December. I would guess. Uh, uh, I'm gonna go Xbox 2025 game. Xbox. Uh, uh, oh no, it's not first party. Trying to Xbox. Uh, party. Uh, I'm, yeah. So I'm gonna go to this Reddit post. They said 15. Even Reddit said 15 here. I don't think some of these I don't think are coming out. Some they have. Avowed, South of Midnight, Fable, Outer Worlds 2. Some people think that Gears of War is coming out this year, one way or another, whether it's the Marcus Phoenix collection or it's, but I doubt. I think we should great next year. Perfect Dark could possibly come out this year. Project Mar could come out. I could see that. But yeah, I I can see them getting close. To around 15, 15 games. And expand when you fact and I'm factoring in expansion too. So like major expansions that you'd have that. Oh, Towerborn also come out this year. It's already like an early access.
I thought Towerborn was. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yes,
I thought it
it's
was
yeah. Because I'm gonna
available.
say
It's an
I own it on Steam, but
Yeah,
it's not on Xbox
yeah,
yet.
it's an early access on Steam this year. Like I know I can name at least like 9 more that are coming out this year, and they usually announce 5 or 6 or at their summer show. So yeah, I guess. And I like it sounds like a lot, but I don't think it's a lot when you're releasing games every platform. But you're not really like cannibalizing your own platform.
It's fair to say that Xbox is becoming one of the biggest third-party publisher.
But they already are the biggest third. The moment they purchased ABK, they became the biggest third-party publisher. So,
I think the moment they showed a PlayStation 5 on an actual Xbox showcase, that's when they became the biggest one of the biggest in my opinion.
it's when they bought
But
it was when they bought ABK because ABK is
nah,
so
ABK,
I see
ABK,
what you mean. Like the symbolism of like this is like really it now was
yeah,
literally having the
because
competition's name on your show, not rebranded after your show, but literally on it.
yeah,
yeah.
because the one was literally showcasing fucking whatchamacallit, uh Ninja Gaiden PS5 version. Like, my dude, you're an Xbox showcase. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, I think some of that is uh I think some of it was surprising. So they showed that the games that they were releasing were going to the PlayStation 5, but when it was a third party deal, they didn't announce it was PlayStation 5. So um they want you to buy their games. They don't care where you buy them. They want you
So
to buy 'em.
yeah, Ninja Gaiden 4 is published by Xbox.
Yes.
Does Xbox own the IP?
I don't know, but
I
Is
Per Aaron
it?
Greenberg, like it's published and it's pretty much 100% financed by Microsoft. So you can call it a first party
yeah,
game.
Really
Microsoft considers
Interesting.
considers it a first party game.
interesting.
I would go as far as to say I don't think they own the IP outside of maybe it being a co-ownership. So maybe they co-own the IP.
It sounds like something that could be second party.
Yeah. It is a second party. It is a second party deal, but
Yeah.
I don't think Koei Temco. I don't think they sold the IP fully to Microsoft. Is what I'm saying. I can see
Right.
that.
Because I'm thinking like Neo, like for PlayStation, Neo that was published by PlayStation, so that it's different. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to make the parallels like between what Koei has done in the past. I'm sorry, not Koei. Yeah, Koei Tecmo.
Like it could be
Um,
like a deal where it's like we co-own the IP, so yes, you can make as many Ninja Gaidens as you want, but
yeah.
we have to publish type deal.
Yeah, that is really interesting.
That's kind of what I'm
Dang, I
thinking.
need to buy that game. Like I need that game in my body right now.
Um, and then then I saw today, beyond the developer direct, the head of Moon Studios said that Xbox approached them for Ori 3. What happened
Yeah,
there?
I'm
Good.
excited
Good for
about
them.
that
So there's, I
because I
mean,
love
Wait a minute.
Ori.
Ori. Wait. Aren't the Ori developers making that No Rest for the Wicked?
Yeah,
Yes.
they are.
Yeah, they
Because
are.
that game looked good.
It
I just
looked
want to
good.
make sure that.
Yeah,
Also,
it did look good. It looked
Yeah.
fantastic.
also, I have the feeling if they make Ori 3, it's gonna be on PlayStation.
Well, Ori,
Cause
That's fine. I'll
Ori is
support it.
already on the Switch, so I could definitely do that.
Yeah. And No Rest. So that thing was in early access almost a year now. It came out
yeah,
April
I mean
for early
it's
access.
kind of like Underleaf Magnolia. Eh? It was for a year on early access, and it's gonna be it's released this year.
I will
Literally,
say that if they did, commit and they're doing the hard work that I'm expecting them to do, that game might come out pretty solid because it looked good even in early access. I was like, oh, okay, I'm ready to buy this. Then it never released officially or on PlayStation, I should say.
Yeah, since Kofi's already kind of started talking, what were your thoughts seeing at the Xbox Developer Direct?
So I will be 100% transparent. I didn't get a chance to watch it. I think it came out when I was on vacation.
Well,
Yeah, like last week, right?
You know what games for now. So, what were your thoughts? About
Yeah, for the most part. You guys, I don't say it well enough. Koei Tecmo is a top 4 publisher for me. Pharaoh knows that. I mean, him and I, we go back playing Dead or Alive, way back to the first online Dead or Alive game, Dead or Alive 2 Ultimate. I've always loved Dead or Alive. It's probably one of my favorite 3D fighters, right there with Virtua Fighter and like Bloody Roar and Fighting Vipers. Yeah.
yo, bloody road.
Yeah, I would say Bloody Roar is right up there, but like Dead or Alive, because Dead or Alive is a lot more recent, I have to like put it in a high level, even more recent than like the most recent Virtual Fighter. Um, and then yeah, when Ninja Gaiden Black came out and Ninja Gaiden 2 Sigma, I loved that game. I think this game is dead now because of the weird relationship with Ninja Gaiden on PlayStation, but that game had online co-op and had one of the hardest platinums to get because you had to beat a co-op mission with multiple bosses fighting at the same time with a friend who was good enough, and you both can't play Ryu, if I can remember correctly. Yeah, you have to play like you have to choose either Ayane, Momiji, Rachel, or Ryu, but you can't both play the same character, and it's brutal. I mean, like, I don't know if you guys remember. I forget the name of the boss, but the scorpion lady with the wings with the tail that'll stab you. Her attack pattern is ridiculous. I mean, it's just like stab, stab. Oh, dodge. She'll do fake me out. She has all these feints, and if you get impaled. It's like impaled. Okay, half your health, you're dead. And I do want to brag for myself a little bit because I did finish the path of I forget what the hardest one is, but I finished the hardest one. So you get, as a reward, you get the gold bar of health for your Ryu. When you play online co-op, people know that you beat the game on the hardest when you have the gold bar of health. And that is hard. I'm telling you, man, you'll get wiped by that scorpion lady. But what I found was interesting is the difficulty in Sigma 2 was different than the original 2. Yeah. And I found that bosses are harder in Sigma, but regular enemies are harder in 2. Because I remember, say again, Pharaoh. I'm not talking about Black. I'm just talking 2, just 2. I mean, yeah, the original and Black are very hard as well. But comparing Sigma 2 to 2, there was a lot of like weird adjustments they made for the difficulty. So I haven't spent a lot of time with 2 because it was only on 360. But I missed the fact that they didn't keep the co-op for Sigma. I mean, for 2 Black, because I really loved the co-op. Even though I was speaking ill of it just now, how hard it was so fun. I mean, me and Nemesis, another friend of ours, Reggie Farrow, and I used to do online co-op Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2 all the time. And the menus were so bad. If you wanted to play again with the person you were online with, you had to like choose the wrong option, literally. Like, it was such a broken menu, but it was so fun. So RIP to the online co-op of Sigma. I hope maybe 4 brings that back. We're not going to ever talk about 3. 3 is not a good game. What do you say? Oh, I did. Okay, yeah. So I am aware that there is a new Shinobi in town, and he's going to be conflicting with Ryu at least at some point in the story. I'm very, very excited. Just in general for the series to be back. I see that Platinum Games is doing the heavy lifting for this. I love Platinum. I don't know how it's going to make me feel playing the game because it just the mechanics are looking a little bit different. But I think at the end of the day, I'm going to be happy. But
I was gonna say, based on the trailer, I got the perception that you probably won't be able to co-op the story, but I feel like after you beat it, there'll be like some co-op modes to unlock.
I see what you're saying because of the fact that there's two Shinobi.
Yeah, I think there's
I mean,
gonna be some co-op modes that are not a part of the story.
I think it would be cool if you had like a quick cast of like bring back Ayane, maybe like bring Momiji or Kasumi, who's never been in one of these. But I think it would also be cool to have Ain. I think that would be like Hayate. That would be super cool because he's never gotten like his moment in the Ninja Gaiden series. But that's just me being a super fanboy. I'm such a big fan of the publisher. I love Neo. I even liked Wulong Fallen Dynasty, even though that game is super. Like it's a 7 out of 10 for sure. It's flawed for reasons we won't talk about right now, but yeah, I'm so happy for them in general. And even though I obviously would rather them collaborate with PlayStation, it doesn't really matter at this point. I do like the fact that Black, Hiro, oh my gosh, Tomonobu-san had gravitated towards the original Xbox for Ninja Gaiden Black. And it's nice to kind of see that cultivation of a relationship kind of come back here. And
he's been screaming from the top of his lungs that he wants to collaborate with Xbox for years now.
Well, this game was 6 years in the making, so
I literally, there's a segment where either on this show or my show, I literally said, Xbox should contact him, like, do business, like, this is the original creator of Ninja Gaiden, and he's screaming that you...
I'm sure he is. Like,
I mean, he also tried his own game, so now he's off that. And
but these games were like the fact that the game was 6 years in the making is one thing. The fact that they are able to develop and release 2 games in 1 year is like great. I'm talking about.
What do you mean 2 games in 1 year? What do you mean?
Well, Ninja Gaiden Black 2 remake and Ninja Gaiden 4.
Oh, you mean like Team Ninja?
Yeah.
Specifically Team Ninja.
I
mean,
Team Ninja Platinum games, the fact that they were able to turn out 2 Ninja Gaiden games in 1 year is pretty impressive.
I'm never going to hate on them. I mean, they're literally a top 4 publisher for me. There's too many other games I just like. Okay, I'm buying it. Oh, okay, yep. Let me just send my money wire.
But yeah, so I think I think it looks really. I really love the Ninja Gaiden stuff. But Zero, what were your thoughts on the Xbox Developer Direct?
Man, aces all around. I can't really say anything bad about it. Like the one thing I was always concerned about, and it wasn't even like an Xbox Developer Direct. It was just not Bungie's 343's. But I'll never forget how nervous the 343 guys were when Halo Infinite was being announced, and it was like, well, hey guys, it's not fully there yet, so just letting you know. And I was like, come on, man. Yeah, I was like, come on, man. Like, this is not what I want to hear from my developers. Like, come on. Everybody
where's the confidence, B?
Yeah,
you saw the Doom developers was beating their chest in, bro.
Yes.
They said, we making the best joint in the series, bro. What the fuck you mean?
Right. Not only are we making the best one, like we switched up the formula every time, and we guarantee this will be better than every formula we've done before. So like, get ready. So I'm like, yeah, man, like this is what I'm talking about.
You're talking about Doom?
Just confidence from developers. And
Doom developers were so confident.
Yeah.
With that showcase.
And they should be. Like every Doom since 2016 has been great.
They have dragons and mechs. What is there not?
They got dragons and mechs, man. What more do I need in my life? South of Midnight looks fantastic. Ninja Gaiden was just an absolute shock. And then the stealth drop of and play it today.
Oh, when I saw that, I was like, oh my god, I need I haven't bought it yet, but I'm about to buy it right now.
Go ahead.
So like I can't. What was the other thing? Doom, South of Midnight, Ninja Gaiden. Oh,
Actually,
the,
this is 33.
yeah. Which wow, that looks good.
Yeah,
I also, I'm sure there are because like Jeanne d'Arc is French, right?
I finished it.
Who?
Yeah.
It's French. So is I think Valiant Hearts is also. I was just noticing like it's in France, and I thought to myself like, there aren't a lot of video games that just take place in odd versions of France, are there? Or just any version of France?
I mean, Johnny the Arc.
Yeah, like that's the only one I can think of. So I was like, that's kind of cool. Just like, me, I'm
Oh, like
always
French-inspired games. Interesting.
just a French-inspired game,
Oh, I
like
think the game I
directly.
gave you, Pharaoh, is French, right? That puzzle game. I can't remember. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Reggie. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like I mean, quite frankly, we don't. I mean, they show up often, but we don't even get a lot of French characters. Like,
But that Claire, you talk about the Claire game though, the Claire Obscure 33. That
yeah,
Me?
that
Oh,
game
cool.
looks insanely good for
yeah,
them making their first video.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I was
It
like,
remind me of the success that what you call it had
I
the Kaina. I think it's gonna do as impressive as Kaina because Kaina
no,
debuted insanely well.
I think Claire Obscure 33 is way better than a Kennedy. I think that game might hit like 20 million, 15, 20 million sales. I really.
I think it's also remember this one is not full price there.
I don't know the price of
I do know it's $40
oh, it's
Really?
$40.
or $30 or $40. It's cheap. It's super cheap compared
Steam
to
game. Yeah, Steam
Yeah, that's
players love some $40 games.
yeah. So
Mm.
Yes, we
I
do.
PlayStation as well. It's
yeah,
not 60.
yeah, I think that game is gonna do phenomenal. So I really do. Story is very captivating. I think a lot of people are very interested in their spin on turn-based combat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
You know,
this is
Single player.
literally what we
the
wish Legend of Dragoon to
Yeah,
be.
the fact that
the fact that you can dodge and block in real time is great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a button for that.
Yeah.
there's a real world map when for years AAA JR or AAA and AA JRPG developers have told us that the world map just isn't anymore. You got a real world map now that you can first. I mean, there's so much with the game, so much goodwill um, to the JRPG community in particular that I just think that the game is gonna
you
do crazy
you
numbers.
you feel that this is made by gamers for gamers.
Yeah,
This feels like a love letter to actual JRPG fans.
yeah.
To me, this is what Square Enix should have been, but sadly we know where they are right now.
Oh, we're gonna talk about where they are. They're doing great. But that's our final topic. Um, but yeah, Omar, what were your thoughts on the developer direct?
Terrible because it's Xbox. No, absolutely talk.
God damn.
Shout out to Xbox for this one. Doom. This is the first Doom game I'm actually excited about. I think it comes down to with Doom is it's no longer just running and shooting, eh?
Yeah, I think the
There
biggest
is
thing with this Doom is that it actually has like a real story built into it, and it's not you like
not
looking for the story anymore.
not only that, it's also the shield. There is parry in Doom. Like, do I need to say more? There is melee in Doom.
Yeah,
There
Axe,
is
Dragon,
there is
Bone
a
Crusher.
mech. There is a dragon. Like, it's insane.
The music was fire during the trailer.
Yo, don't tell that to my friend. He's still salty over what happened with the music stuff. With I don't know what the story is, but Yeah, with the whole controversy. Yeah, it's absolutely day one for me. And the best part, single player only, no multiplayer bullshit. Also, what I love about it is how they showed you their formula, which in which Doom they focused on what? One focused on exploration, one focused on run and gun, one focused on what you call it, open not open world, open area aspect.
Yeah.
And with this one, it's the shield. That's their main focus. And it's the gun. It's always gonna be the gun.
I've been saying this for a while now. Like Xbox has like they have a collection of like ultra uh masculine warrior shooter characters, Halo or Gears of War characters, and guy now. At some point they need to give us like an Expendables type all come together. It doesn't really have to make a lot of sense. Just has to be like badass and fun.
Just having Gears, Halo, and Doom together in one room.
Yeah, just like
They wouldn't even let them use Halo and Doom for secret level.
yeah, but I'm just saying
I don't see it happening.
No, I'm talking about Xbox making their own game though, where like all those characters kind of come together and they make their own expendable type game. Like I said, it doesn't really have to make a lot of sense. It just has to be like badass enough, like fun. I think people love it.
Yeah,
oh, go ahead.
Ninja Gaiden is back.
Yep.
The revival of the goat. Finally. What, took them 6 years? Longer? 10 years?
Well, it took 6 years of development, but I think the last
Yeah.
Ninja Gaiden that came out was like 2014, and that was like the master.
We're not going to
collection.
talk about the last Ninja Gaiden.
No, the last Ninja Gaiden was
It's
Ninja
not a good
Gaiden
game.
Z or something like that, which is almost like Metal Gear Rising when it comes to, you know, zombies and stuff like that. So
Oh,
I'm
Yaiba?
yeah, I'm super excited to see what this Ninja Gaiden is gonna bring to the peto. A new character to play as, and you're actually fighting Ryu. I'm all for it. Other than that, South of Midnight. I love this game. I can't wait for this game. I love I love the world building. I love the storytelling. I love the whole stop motion. And I'm super excited with the folklore. Because to me, this feels like this is their version of Ghost of Tsushima, if that makes sense. What I mean by that is the developers did their homework when it comes to the folklore and the culture and everything, and we're gonna get that in this game. If you're from the south, you're gonna hear stuff that you're already aware of. Me, for someone like me, everything's gonna be brand new, and I'm all for it. That's a day one game for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the biggest compliment that I gave the Xbox Developer Direct that of the 4 games they showed, all 4 of them look like they have some sort of game of the year or a chance to win like multiple awards.
A game nomination.
Yeah. Like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that was the biggest compliment I could give. Like all the games showed so well. They all like they would have the opportunity to bring home a bunch of.
Yeah. It's that, and then what can I say about Expedition 33?
I love that game.
If you guys like, if I know Nappy is new, but I have been in the past screaming and begging for a dark JRPG turn-based, and we're getting it.
Yes, we are.
And I'm so fucking happy about that.
That's so true.
And what I love
There's only
about
one
it,
other dark RPG I know of coming out, and it's so few that we ever get.
yeah,
I mean, I don't know if it's really a dark RPG because watching the developer direct, it seemed like it had so many lighthearted moments.
You can have you can have light-hearted moment and still watch a person goes in ash in front of your face. That's
Yeah.
dark.
I agree.
Final Fantasy don't do that shit. When they
I,
die,
I
they
feel like
die.
I don't know.
You're not gonna.
I don't know. 616 had some deaths, bro.
Yeah, I'm about to
I
say like
Like, it's like,
16.
yeah.
16 was kind of dark. 15 kind of had some darkness
15
to
was
it.
dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm more so also
You're
focusing.
right about 16, actually. Yeah.
I mean,
I'm more also focusing.
there's a lot of Final Fantasy games that have some dark. I'm not saying that
I'm
they're I wouldn't necessarily classify them quote unquote dark RPGs. But there's definitely
I'm also more focusing on the whatchamacallit, uh, the gore aspect of it,
yeah.
cause and the blood. Yeah, 60 was basically Game of Thrones. I don't count that, but and also I'm asking for template, not action.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
to getting that, I can't wait. Also, another thing I love is the damage limit. You're doing 5k damage, 9k damage, 2500k damage. You're I meant 25,000k damage. My bad. It's impressive, and I can't wait for that. Also, to not make it too dark, they have a main character that's gonna be the funny guy,
Mhm.
Yeah.
the Ryu of Yuji of Persona 5. So I'm excited. The interesting part is both South of Midnight and Expedition 33 are in April.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you need to finish if you're gonna play both. You gotta finish one very quick and because I think South of Midnight, what, 15 hours, something like that.
Oh, I have no idea how long it is, but the one thing I'll say about South of Midnight is every time I see it, it looks a lot bigger than what I expected.
Also, South of Midnight boss fight. Yo,
Yeah.
I can't wait for that one. As for Expedition 33, I love the whole. I love that fat. And I think it's a god. I'm not sure that you're gonna ride him to travel around the map.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love how unique it is, and it's entertaining, and I could I can't wait for it. It's gonna be a blast.
That game looked great the moment that we saw it, I think, last summer. I'm definitely looking forward to that one. Nappy,
Yeah.
did you have any thoughts regarding the developer direct?
Yes, I actually watched it when I got home from work, and I have to say it was actually really good. South of Midnight, I actually love the art style and the theme of South of Midnight, especially how it has the weird, quirky, like 15 frame moving character with 30 frame moving enemies. I love it. It looks actually really cool. I'm actually looking forward to South of Midnight. Expeditions 33 was that game was something else. I was like, what the heck? Is this a turn based? Is it not turn based? But then again, you can actually, the fact that you can actually control your character and controlling the dodges and the parries, I was like, yeah, this is cool. Pharaoh, you introduced, well, even though you gave the credit to Jubei, Pharaoh, I was not expecting to see Ninja Gaiden 4 with that leak. I was pretty late to Ninja Gaiden. Like, my Ninja Gaiden story starts in the 360 era. I got my ass whooped a lot because I got done playing Devil May Cry 4, and I was like, okay, I want another hack and slash game. And oh, Ninja Gaiden. This will be fun. Man, did I struggle. But all for realness, I actually do like the Ninja Gaiden series. It is a fun game to play. I am definitely looking forward to Ninja Gaiden on Fall 2025. Just continue story. And as far as Doom, Doom looks cool. Already got a lot of first person shooters. I'm not gonna go crazy for Doom because I mean it is just you just killing shit all day with some badass music, which you can always enjoy. Overall, I think Xbox did or Microsoft did a really good job with this developers direct. They laid out some awesome banger games coming out in April and May. So April and May, they pretty much got you locked in, so that when you go into the summer, you got something to play. And
locked in from January till May.
yeah, it depends. I mean, they do got some.
And you got in 2 weeks. You got a
Right.
Vow. You got Adam Fall, in March, and you got MLB The Show in March. So that's you got X 33 and South of Midnight in April. You got Doom in May.
Yeah.
Got you covered.
It's all right. You're gonna be busy playing Monster Hunter with us.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like February 28th or 27th, I'm kind of locked in.
Well,
I took like 3 days off.
Good for you.
Oh shoot!
Good thing Avowed comes out on the 13th. That gives you 15 days of Avowed.
When does Outer
But
Worlds
I'm playing.
come out?
I'm
They
playing.
didn't give a date yet for Outer Worlds. They showed it at the Game Awards for 2025, but they didn't have a hard date.
I'm about to say I'm playing Final Fantasy Rebirth right now.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
that's gonna be a
Valve.
minute.
That's gonna be.
Yeah, so Valve.
You got an ultra wide?
Do I have an ultra wide screen? No. My 1440p monitor is not
I
ultra
do.
wide. Mine is just all about performance.
No, I just seen the Rebirth ultra wide mod, and the game looks like.
Yeah, surprisingly, a lot of the mods from the original game carried over. Well, mainly the skins, so you can turn Sephiroth into Ronald McDonald, which is fucking hilarious.
Well, they use the exact same engine, so that kind of makes the mods kind of.
You can get well, they're trying to ban it, but you can make Tifa's assets bigger if you like.
Oh,
they even some of the custom outfits that they made for these characters actually carried over from the previous game, works on this new game as well. I was shocked. Yeah. They got some cool custom outfits for all the characters that you could download on a PC version. So
I love seeing.
But the Ronald McDonald Sephiroth is definitely my favorite because it's just he looks a creepy ass clown with long hair and a sword just coming at you.
I like seeing Cloud in the Advent outfit.
That is cool.
Yeah,
I will give.
Yes,
for that.
I think they do have that, but I'm just shocked to see because Square Enix made it really seem like that game was not going to run, or was going to be like a game killer or like a PC killer. It's far from it. It's actually surprisingly optimized for what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. So we hit this topic pretty hard. Trying to get us out of here before midnight. So let's go ahead and jump our next topic of tonight, and that is the Phil Spencer went on a round of interviews this weekend. I think he did Kind of Funny Games, that's very show as well, doing some interviews, and I'm just gonna kind of hit like some of the notes. Talked about that Xbox is committed to hardware. A lot of people have been kind of wondering that over the past couple of years. Yes, Xbox is committed to hardware, and also, yes, they are committed to bringing a lot of their games, all platforms. He wouldn't commit to all of them going to all platforms, which I think came from the developer direct. What was it? Three of the 4 games that they showed were going to other platforms. They kept one exclusive for themselves. The rest with everyone else. So I think that's kind of what we're going to see going forward, is that they're going to have the majority, like 80% of their games are going to be available everywhere, but then the other 20%, whether that be like 3 or 4 games, will have some sort of exclusivity to the Xbox platform. So with that said, I'm going to at least, the Captain Xbox show. So Captain Xbox, what are your thoughts regarding Phil's statements, 2 interviews he had over the weekend, regarding all things Xbox?
I'm glad he's deciding to finally make things more clear, even though we kind of saw this coming. Like, he's literally like, there isn't a game that won't go somewhere else at this point. And it makes sense. He knows they're never going to win the sales crown. So there's no point in making that like your core focus, like of as far as metric of success. At this point, they just want game sales because that's where the money's at.
Well, I mean, I think there's like a twofold to it though, because at this point in time, like Sony's struggling from a first party perspective, so it makes sense to fill those gaps also. I think it's kind of like
Wait, hold up. How is Sony struggling from
they just canceled like
Sony?
10
Some
games.
of the cancellations.
Yeah, they canceled a lot of
Yes,
games.
they cancel a lot of the flight service, but they're still creating what you call it single player games.
Yeah, but those things.
They didn't.
But even then, a lot of those single player games aren't having high attach rates. It's a perfect storm for Xbox to kind of put their game everywhere. Like even like Astro, as great as Astro is, one game of the year, it didn't like quite hit high sales benchmark. So like
No one expected Astrobot to sell million like that.
I mean, you can speak from a fan perspective, but if I'm putting hundreds of millions of dollars into something, I'm expecting it to sell. I didn't.
Do we know how much? Hold up. Do we know how much Astrobot cost?
I guarantee you, it costs more than 100 million. So if they put that much money into it, expected it to sell. I'm not saying they expected it to be like Elden Ring, but they expected it. They expected it to sell. They didn't greenlight it, not thinking the game was, especially with all the hype the game, the quote unquote tech demo got that it launched with. So I'm sure that I'm not saying they expected it to be like Spider-Man 2. I'm not saying that, but I'm sure they probably expected, especially with the holiday window and not really having anything else they were releasing in the holiday window. I'm sure they were expecting like like 4-6 million. And I don't think that's necessarily like an unrealistic number either. Especially if you're only one.
You got 60 million PS5s. I'd expect at least 10 million on that. Something. Can I get that? I'll take 6. I'll take 6 million. I'll take 10% of the user base.
I would say 4 to 6.
It took them 3
It'll probably
years
hit that.
only to create Astrobot.
Yeah, but I'm saying you commit a certain budget, you expect a certain return. That's all I'm saying. Like, so I think they expected the game to sell more than it has to this point, and it may eventually do that. But I don't think anyone spends 100 million plus on anything doesn't expect it to sell it. But yeah, I mean, I'm not knocking PlayStation, but currently they have some first party issues. They do have a lot of deals that are going back to the drawing. That there is a gap because of that, naturally, because starting all over. That means whatever games that those teams are working on are now another 6 years away, 5 to 6 years away. So there's going to be gap. That's kind of natural thing. That's the only. Yeah, you can continue. Sorry. Oh, okay, going once, twice. He might have got kidnapped by his.
Nope. I'm good. Sorry. So like you said, I don't have a problem with anything as far as what he said. I'm just happy it's been said, so we can stop questioning it. Like, and at this point, it's not on us to care. Like, they don't care what platform you play it on. Obviously, if you don't have a PC, you can get an Xbox and you can play those games. If you want Game Pass, you get an Xbox or a PC and play those things. If you're not interested in Game Pass and just want the games, you can still buy them on Switch and on Switch 2 and on PS5. So people can complain, oh, they're missing out on console sales. It's like, yeah, but they also know they take a loss on every console sale. Yes, they'll make it back in subs and games, but still, that's a loss. So, and they haven't said they're not going to make a console. Like, it is what it is.
No, he's he was very explicit in that they would still make consoles.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, if consoles are still coming, what are we really
Because you can't be Xbox without a
upset
box.
for? Right. But it's like what else do you want them to do? Like, the people that have the Xbox aren't buying games all crazy like that anyway, right? Like,
Well,
the numbers show that. So it's like, you can't say, oh, you want us to have a box, when even when they do have exclusives, the main like super hardcore Xbox only fan base still isn't buying them. So it doesn't
well,
matter.
I would say, and I would also say this to you, Jay, is that can't X, can't Xbox leverage the power of Microsoft without them having a lot of their games
Without them, exactly.
because
They have to answer to that.
they well not only answer to their shareholders, but I mean they have to answer to regulators, and they still plan on purchasing more. If they, I don't know the scale of which they plan to purchase, but if they purchase another big thing and they don't plan on sharing, it'll get a lot harder. So them showing a commitment and willingness to share, their title elsewhere, it goes a long way towards them leveraging, Microsoft's wallet, their endeavor.
Yep. I'm hoping that this means that they're gonna commit more to Play Anywhere, meaning I buy it once and
Well,
I got the PC copy, I have all that. Like
well,
that's really what's gonna.
did you? The best thing about the developer direct was the messaging at the beginning. They said all games are play anywhere, all games are on the cloud, all games are day one Game Pass. So I think you are seeing that push for everything being play anywhere and everything being,
Hmm.
you know, everything everything that they put on their stage, hitting Game Pass at some point. I
Right.
think that could be there, for everything. And I think like Metaphor, they got the marketing deal with Metaphor. Metaphor is, I believe, playing.
It is.
Yeah. So they they're when they're making these deals, they are making that push to play in. All right, Kofi. What were your thoughts on the developer direct? I'll be right up.
I'm really happy that I get a chance to, I guess, stick with PC, a little bit of Switch. I mean, I do play Switch a lot more actually. Cat Quest 3, shout out to Cat Quest 3. Um, and PlayStation, and get the Xbox library. I don't really love paying for PlayStation Plus. And I would be more unhappy if I had to pay for some sort of Xbox subscription and for the hardware and that part of the ecosystem. So, at this point, I'm just going to continue to support from where I'm at. I do, I think Barrow and I at least are on the same page. That we don't really see this as a console war anymore. It's just
Yeah, the
individual.
console war is dead.
Yeah, console war is definitely dead. So I mean, it is uh, you finding the games that you love, and there are so many
Yeah, I would.
to fall in love with. So I don't really have any. My hopes for the competition that once was, because it is no longer around. It is up to me to make the best of it, and it's been great. I'm not
Yeah,
I am not going to be upset. Okay, I'm drowning in RPGs over here. I'm loving it.
I
So
would.
I really have nothing more negative to add. I think the fact that they're even willing to work with Platinum Games and get out a Ninja Gaiden game, I think shows me that they're willing to be a publisher that can try to touch on some nostalgia, but really bring in some serious talent to mix things up. With Platinum Games doing their first Ninja Gaiden game, um, so that's the kind of commitment I'm looking for.
I have to
And
ask you, do you see them buying new Platinum games? I actually do.
no,
No,
I don't. I think it's really smart for them to just pay them for the game.
I
Like,
will
like,
say.
hey, we're just gonna pay you. We might do some sort of like series with this. We might do like your own, like kind of like how PlayStation does. Like, we want to own an IP that Platinum Games makes, and we're just gonna own the IP. And whenever we need them, we just call them, put them on contract for 4 years, oh, made the game, and then they can go do what they can go make their Switch game, they can go make their PlayStation game, and do some PC indies or whatever. And then they don't have the financial responsibility of paying for the rest of the company's stuff because they got so much going on already.
Xbox is gonna buy an Eastern publisher, so they've already kind of made
I
that
think the
known.
Eastern publisher that they want though is the type that's going to be like a Minecraft, not a Platinum game.
I don't. Well, what I would say is, I'm not saying that they wouldn't purchase the Platinum games. What I would say is they would purchase that publisher first.
Because
And
what's the
then
difference between a Platinum Games and a Tango GameWorks that won Game of the Year or should have won Game of the Year?
Tango GameWorks is a studio, and it's a lot harder than one studio with like versus self-sustained business purchase, top to bottom.
From a sales perspective, or maybe they're
No,
close.
management. I'm talking about from a management perspective.
I guess I just wouldn't see them buying some like Platinum Games. I think they want like some sort
Yeah, I
of
agree.
massive franchise that's doing like it's just on every tablet everywhere.
I could see them purchasing Platinum Games after they purchase a Eastern-based publisher. So, like, I'm just gonna like something that's not gonna happen. I'm gonna say if Xbox purchased Capcom, they're not purchasing.
Mhm.
But if they purchase Capcom and they wanted Platinum Game, they would purchase Capcom first and then put Platinum Game inside of Capcom. They would purchase Platinum Game then after they acquired a Capcom side of Platinum Game. Kind of one.
Yeah.
I just went with the most unlikely.
Yeah, no.
Because I don't think Capcom's selling anytime soon. They're doing fantastic. So, but yeah, that's how I think they would do it if they were to. Like if they purchased like Koei Temco, for instance, because they purchased them, then they could also purchase Platinum and put Platinum under Koei, so that Koei Temco could manage all of it. Yeah, that's how they would. Got all your bars off, Kofi?
Yeah.
All right.
Supporting the games.
Uh,
It's all good.
I'm gonna mix it up and go to the PC person. Not care about any of this. What were your thoughts on the Phil Spencer interview?
I mean, it's nice to see that like
Interviews.
console wars dead. Oh, my mic's muted.
No,
Oh no,
I
it's
said
not.
interviews. I should say. Well,
I get to play my games. I just get more games for me. I'm eating regardless. I'm like, oh, right. Share all the games.
I think technology.
More games
killed,
for
I
me.
think technology killed the console wars more than like the way that technology.
It killed the console war. It's over.
Well, I think.
Yeah,
I
mean
think,
the way
games like Fortnite and Roblox and all these applications and being able to put stuff on TVs and all these handheld devices, like technology has just grown to the point where like the platform is more important than the hardware and how far your platform.
it is. But thinking about it, just like the fact that Xbox is trying to expand their games up to my TV, to my tablet, to my phone, like play anywhere. It's cool. It's really fun. The fact that now you can purchase games and the game that you purchase you can now stream is play anywhere. Like we're slowly getting there, and I'm glad to hear that they're focusing on their software. And if they still stick it to their hardware, because I don't want Sony to be the only premium gaming hardware experience for console players. I think there shouldn't be a monopoly, and honestly, it's just great to have more games coming.
Like
more games for me to play in many different ways.
As technology grows, your console actually becomes a burden because you're trying to get things working. Everything you're putting a $500 or $700 barrier of entry just to purchase your product. Kind of it becomes a harder sell over time when there's all these other devices that people interact.
Yeah. So eventually we're all going to be on PCs eventually. I'll wait. I can't wait.
I won't disagree because the handhelds are basically now. The consoles are
Nah.
becoming more and more PC like. So I mean, I don't necessarily agree. They'll just be like they'll be like the Chromebooks.
Nah. Looking forward to it. So, but I really don't have much thoughts. I'm just glad to see games are being shared around more. Glad to see that they're focusing on their hardware because Xbox still has a really decent hardware as far as their controllers and stuff. So, yeah, just keep moving forward and keep doing what you're doing, Xbox. Right now, you are winning.
Zero thoughts on Phil Spencer's comments over the weekend for his interview he did following development.
Not a lot. Generally just happy that there is a clear and present direction for Xbox. I've never really balked at their strategy. For they're going to do what they need to do to stay competitive. I agree in the sense that like the console war in the traditional way is gone, for better or worse. But to be fair, objectively, it was never as good as it was back in like the Sega and Nintendo days.
Yeah.
The energy was just different.
Well, it was a lot more competitive back then too because you had to build your game specifically for a Sega
A
or a
console.
Nintendo. Like yeah, versus now you don't necessarily have to do that in the same way that you should. So you were literally you were competing not only for gamers, you were fighting for developers.
Yeah,
Because,
and retail space and
Yeah.
all this other type of stuff. So like, yeah, but that comes with good things, right? Like, I think about that for my nephew got an Xbox Series S for Christmas, so I bought Game Pass, which seems to be a waste of time. All he does is play Forza. Could have just bought him Forza and left it alone. But it's cool that he just sort of has that option, right?
Yeah.
It's like you don't have to worry about it. And his mother doesn't have to be like, "Well, I'm not buying you this game." Like, you don't really got to buy him any game ever again, honestly. Like, if he can't find anything to play on that thing, then he doesn't really want to play much of anything. And that's cool. There will always be room for like Sony's not going anywhere meaningful, nor is Nintendo, and quite frankly, now that they've shown it, nor is Xbox. If it becomes this massive third-party publisher, a la like the better Sega, if you will, so be it. I got no particular beef one way or the other. As always, my refrain still stays the same. Xbox, run me my games. And so long as I get my games, Xbox, we ain't gonna have no problem.
What's his number this year?
They got about
I'm gonna keep it.
They got 35 studios, so they owe you a lot of games.
Not 35 studios. That's
30. I think
you have time for all them games.
They're between 34 and 36, so I just say it. I just 30.
Yeah, I'm just saying, man. Like, word on the street is you got a lot of games out, you got a lot of studios out there. My game's looking a little light this week, Xbox. I need my games, okay?
And you like running their block now.
So,
Need them on
hey,
Switch 2.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, Nintendo, they good. They've been holding out for a little bit, but they finally, they stepped up and did what they needed to do. Sony been keeping, consistent income revenue coming in. Xbox, you know what I need? Stop playing with me. So, good for them. I can't be down on Xbox anymore. Like, we got like they got to get it together for themselves, and it seems like they are.
Yeah. Okay. I think this might be an all-time year for a publisher. At the rate they're going, yeah, they definitely want to think.
That might be finally Xbox year.
Well, I mean, they won publisher of the year. They won, but I think this was like an all-time year for a publisher. Really, like 10 games that all kind of hit. None of them are dud.
Yeah.
So, and last but not least, Omar. What were your thoughts?
So the one thing I'm having issue with is What you guys ask for it, and you're not gonna get it. They are not dropping the parity clause, which at this point in time, hey,
Uh,
what
I,
you gonna
It
say?
makes sense because they see that those games that are Series S spec can run on handhelds. At that point, why would they? We know a handheld is coming. Why would they go against being able to develop for that, knowing that?
That-
yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
it's gonna be interesting when the
if you can
handhelds come
develop
out.
those same games for the Switch, there's no reason you can't develop. That's kind of just a matter of what you want to develop. I don't think they should necessarily drop it. Like you got games running on Steam Deck, you got games that are running on Switch. So I mean, Series S is not going to be the lowest spec hardware on the market. I don't know why they have to drop it.
We're gonna see how long it's gonna take, because, yeah. Other than that, congratulations on Xbox becoming the one of the biggest third-party publisher out there.
Yeah, I mean, if they drop a console next year, they're definitely not going to drop the parity clause on this. Like, especially if they release the console, they're going to already be like quote unquote in next gen. Um, but yeah, pretty much the topic. Trying to get us done before midnight.
Mm-hmm.
Let's roll.
Yeah.
Rolling to topic number 4. I know some of you guys got jobs. So Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It launched on PC last week, right?
Yep, you're correct. Last week.
Last Thursday, right?
Yep.
All right. And so the previous record for Final Fantasy on PC was a little bit shy of 25,000. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth over the weekend broke that record by surpassing 40 plus thousand concurrent players on Steam. Over the weekend, the game has, for sure been a huge success. It just makes you wonder, like, how big Rebirth could have been, just weren't exclusive anywhere. I think I really think that could have, it probably could have been around 25, 30 million. But I still think it's gonna do great. I think um Square Enix will erase the didn't meet expectation vocabulary uh from their dialect following
Mhm.
the success that we of this game on because it looks like it's going strong. Um but I'm gonna kick this one off with Nappy guy. And what are your thoughts playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on PC and the massive success the game is enjoying now that it's come to your platform of preference?
Square Enix, this is why you don't do time exclusives. Release your games on PC day one so you won't be in a deficit. You want to get them sale numbers, you have a whole player base that you just straight up neglected. And then you wondering why your game's not selling well or didn't meet expectations. We will love to play your games. Just release them day one on all platforms. Exclusivity stuff doesn't work. Clearly, these PlayStation people don't care about Final Fantasy like that if it didn't meet expectations. They too busy playing Madden, 2K, and COD, and a little bit of Fortnite on the side.
Are you saying the real gamers are on calling us console gamers fraud?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying majority of PlayStation people I keep on running into, all I see is Madden, 2K, and COD. I'm just saying, like they like that's it. So, but also serious notes, the game is fun. I'm glad to see that the game works on PC. The game isn't as crazy, like it's not crazy as like the PlayStation people made it seem. It like runs on PC perfectly fine, even though it's like you can't turn off RTX. I can run it on my 10 series graphics card, so it's heck, is Steam Deck verified with the lowest FPS drops. It goes down to was 25 FPS or 26, which was actually really good for the Steam Deck for 150 gigabyte download. Also, I like the fact how we got the bonus materia for having the Final Fantasy remake saves on your computer. You actually get extra bonus, so that was cool.
I do like
But overall, it's like you get some bonus summer materia for it. So, but overall, the game is fun to play. I definitely enjoy it. I am very curious about how they're going to twist up the story. As we know that Sephiroth is fucking with Faith itself. Aerith is, I think she's still playing the dumb blonde where she's pretending like she doesn't know what's going on, but she knows what's going on. And starting off with Zack and just showing off, oh, this is what would happen if Zack survive, and just seeing Aerith is dead. I was like, okay, well, this is interesting. Hopefully they come back to that, because at least there's not two Zacks and two like Clouds and all the other stuff going on.
Wow.
Well, there technically is two Clouds. I saw the two when I saw the universes. I said there's two Clouds, one Zack, and only one Aerith, because technically the other Aerith is dead according to the first chapter. I haven't got that far yet, but it's really fun. Yes. So I'm really curious about how Sephiroth really fucked with Faith and is trying to change up the Final Fantasy story. So, but overall, the game fun, runs fine. It definitely uses the DLSS, and which is fine. When I wear my 10 series card, I use AMD Fidelity, and oh my god,
does only use DLSS 3.
No, I have a 20 series, so I'm using DLSS 2.
Okay,
DLSS.
I think they're releasing 4 like next week.
So 4 is coming out next week, but that's for that's strictly for the 5000 series. That's for the newest, latest, and greatest. So, but AMD Fidelity, for the for Final Fantasy, it's good enough for you to play. You're still gonna enjoy it, but you may see some weird like assets stuff. And honestly, I kind of turned all that stuff off, and I just want to run purely off of raw power. I don't like upscaling my games. My 2070 Super doesn't need to upscale. It can play it perfectly fine. So my 10 series definitely needs to upscale. But it's a fun game to play. Again, Square Enix, next time when you think about releasing a game, do not do time exclusives, because you're just blocking out a whole player, all these gamers that you could have sold your game to. Heck, I haven't seen this game come out on Xbox yet. You probably still got a whole player base on the Xbox side that will love to play Final Fantasy that can't play Final Fantasy. So that's all I gotta say. Release it everywhere, day one for now on.
I think that's the plan. But Kobe, what's your reaction to seeing Rebirth get this great reception and PC and breaking the all-time record? What?
Uh-oh.
Why? We'll come back to both. Omar, your thoughts on seeing the mass success that Final Fantasy Rebirth is having?
Do we know the sale number?
We don't know the full sales numbers yet, but we know that it reached its highest peak for current players in Final Fantasy.
Let's actually, I could pull up the Steam numbers to give you an idea, because some people actually bought on Epic Game Store because the original game first started off on Epic Game Store, and yeah, Steam doesn't account for that. So let's see, Final Fantasy Rebirth. Okay, so it's currently not in the top 10. That's unfortunate. Let's see, Final Fantasy. Seven Rebirth.
Also, Twin Packs.
There is no official numbers on the Steam
Yeah.
charts. That is
I'm curious to see what the numbers are.
that's interesting. Okay, never mind. It took a while to load. So all-time peak of 36,077, but that's just on Steam alone. Again, a lot of people bought the game on Epic Game Store because of that whole
It released
getting the
as
Final
they first.
Fantasy game.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole Final Fantasy game where you get some rewards for having the previous game, and a lot of people had the previous game on Epic Game Store. So, but 36,000. Are you telling me that game sold less than 36,000? That's hard
No,
for
it
me to
sold more than
believe.
36,000. That had a peak of 40,000 players. So you got to factor in twin.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. You got to factor in twin pack sales too. And there's no possible way that all 40,000 people, if you're saying 40,000 in sales, there's no way that all 40,000 were playing the game at the same time. Factor in different times that. So if it's
that's
40,000,
true.
the sales are probably no less than, I would say, like 160K the first weekend. No
Yeah,
way.
I mean it's good. That is possible, and also then again, we also got to take into account that this is just Steam. This is these are one of those titles that it will benefit for you to get the game on Epic Game Store because of the law of the save data bonus. So because it doesn't work across gaming profiles between different between two different like PC game launcher sites. So
So yeah, I would say, especially like when it comes like the first week sales, if you're looking like, I would I would say concurrent players is the most you'll have playing at the same time, 10 to 12
I'll definitely say
of
though,
the sales base. So if 40,000 people are playing at the same time, probably had at least like 400,000 in sales, because you're only going to have like 10 to 50% of total sales base playing at one particular time. When you factor in like just different time zones, things like that. I mean, I don't know the official sales numbers, but I would say at probably at minimum 400K.
I'll say right now that currently there are 26,000 players playing Final Fantasy Rebirth on Steam as of right now. So 26,000 active players at at this hour is actually pretty decent.
Yeah. But yeah, do you have any other thoughts beyond that question you asked, Omar?
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna wait on the official site because you know how Square Enix is.
Yeah, they're always short of expectations. Zero.
Precisely.
What are your thoughts on seeing Rebirth breaking Final Fantasy records on?
Honestly, short and sweet for me. Good. Like, I'm personally still sort of annoyed with the whole splitting the series up into 3 parts. So even there's a back part of my head that's also just like, also, why are you waiting so long to put it on PC? But quite frankly, good. Hopefully, this encourages particularly Square Enix, who, as you guys said, like, seems to always miss their sales projections, quote unquote, even though sometimes their projection seems to be wildly overstated. But like, good. I'm glad PC people can play it. Because the third one's got to stick the landing. So the more people who are into it, I think hopefully the more Square Enix focuses on making it the best ending it can and really doing what they need to do to like round out this series. So good for them. PC players, enjoy the game. It's good, man. Enjoy the mini games. Don't let
God,
people don't let people trick you into thinking that they're too many. Mini games are wonderful.
No, way too many.
Well, wait. Okay, now I'm hearing 2 different things. But also, you probably gonna be upset with me. In the open world part, I did mod Sephiroth into my party just to see what it was like to run around with Sephiroth.
Well, he is badass in the behind porch first chapter.
Yeah.
So.
I was gonna say, I was like, man, I ain't done with Sephiroth yet, so I'm the Nexus mod, and yeah, I can control my party members. I took all the members out, just Cloud and Sephiroth. I was even able to play as Zack in the open world, which was interesting because Zack, he's not a full fledged character, but he's kind of there. Like he got a full fledged set of menus and stuff. It's actually pretty
He's in the
interesting.
battle. Like, and you get to fight with him early in the game.
Yep, I experienced that, but yeah, definitely. I'm not trying to do too many mods because I think because mods can spoil things, but
Yeah.
also just running around with Sephiroth in your party as Ronald McDonald is just
So you haven't been
hilarious.
spoiled on much.
No, I have not been spoiled on much. I
Okay.
purposely avoided that because honestly, also Spider-Man 2 is coming out on PC like either this week or next week, and I'm not playing it because
It's
I already
this week.
watched the.
It's at the end of the month.
Yeah, I kind of already spoiled Spider-Man 2, so I don't feel like playing it. It's the same thing with God of War. I spoiled myself. Now I don't feel like playing it no more.
You didn't want to do the PSN login.
Yeah.
Know how you. Since you're back, both before your thoughts on Final Fantasy breaking its I didn't say any spoilers. I just said he's a battle simulator. That's not
Yeah, I was being attentive. You didn't say anything
yeah.
spoilery.
yeah. Yeah, Kobe, what are your thoughts on Final Fantasy Rebirth breaking records? AOT ended forever ago.
Yeah, no, I do want to say that the less than expectation sales on PlayStation 5 was definitely, I guess, a surprise for me. I really like when Rebirth. I'm sorry, yeah, when Rebirth came out, I really wasn't about being on social media because I know people will play the game and start posting all these things, and I hate spoilers. I mean, I'd rather just not have an account on any social media around gaming for 150 days. Like it doesn't bother me to do that. So that's exactly what I did, and that also blocked me out of knowing sales or anything really, or how people felt about the game and all that stuff. I just got like a pure experience, kind of like the first time we ever played the games. We didn't look around for other people's opinions. We just played them and thought about them. So finding out after the fact that it didn't sell that well, definitely disappointing. I think that somewhat affected its chances for Game of the Year. But now that it did get these high concurrent numbers for Steam, that is encouraging that more people are playing the game. I think the game is absolutely fantastic. Because I'm a Trails fan, I'd be a hypocrite to criticize Final Fantasy VII for being multiple games. Because typically what you can get is characters that are more fleshed out or can be better understood, or you just get more moments to kind of absorb who they are. And I personally know how to appreciate that. I know some people would rather have their games be just one title, like the majority of these games. And I'm not saying I don't like those things. I'm a Ys fan. I'm a Tales of fan, and many other series. So I like both very much equally. And so I was not down on the ending. Actually, I really enjoyed the ending. I did early on this podcast say I enjoyed Kai no Kiseki more than Rebirth. That is still also true, but Rebirth is really a fantastic story. I loved all the production, so hearing that it performs well at launch on Steam is really encouraging. I do think that's because they not only staggered the releases, but actually gave it attention to detail. Because I do remember that Remake was not the case, right? Remake came out.
Yeah, Remake. So
right, even though
when I
it was
played Remake
staggered,
day
it did
one,
not
it was
release
good.
with as much quality as Rebirth. So I'm glad
Yeah.
that they learned their lesson. They used that time, that staggering period, to enhance that port. So,
Well, I mean, time on task, man. You got to get better at it. You got to do it good at it. Another part of it.
I guess it depends on what Square Enix wants to balance. I honestly, I guess in my opinion, I think that if you're looking for the ultimate quality, focusing on one platform probably can get you the best results, I think of Rockstar.
Watch
I
out,
think
they're gonna
Rockstar
hit
has
you.
a formula that makes the most sense, but I just don't know of many complex AAA games that can release on console and PC and have mostly no issues. I mean, every game's got like an issue, right? Like even Playground games with their, racing games. I owned a PC version, and when it released, there was a issue specifically for my GPU. Like 1080 Ti's had some sort of weird video card issue on 1440p monitors, and it was like it would not display. So I'm not gonna necessarily knock them for that. It's really hard to do. It's just hard to match all the drivers that this huge diverse base is using. So that's why I think you really need like to focus on that PC release because you're supporting the potatoes, and then you want all these high end features, uh, anti-aliasing or whatever. All the features that you want to have for the best visuals, FAA or all this stuff. So
Mhm.
that's tough. And I know staggered approach doesn't always make sense, but I guess for me, I've always positioned myself to take advantage of those staggered releases. Like when something releases first on Switch and it was supposed to be on PlayStation, in my opinion, or the IP first was born on PlayStation, I get really salty because I'm like, I positioned myself so that I could get the game here first. Or if a game comes out first on Steam, I'll position myself for that. Like Baldur's Gate 3, I owned that in 2019. And I played it in 2019. It was a complete mess. I still loved it. So I'm ready to do that. Um, for and support the initial release of a game. Um, but anyway, yeah. I am happy that the sales are coming through. That Square Enix can make some more money off of this wonderful, wonderful title. And long live Vincent Valentine. That's all I gotta
Ed.
say.
What?
Ojo made sure of that. But yeah. Last but not least, Jube, what are your thoughts seeing Square learn the error of their ways, get their games elsewhere?
Um, I think it's a little too late. They still have a chance to, turn some stuff around, but generally speaking, it's like, what did you expect was going to happen, bro? Like, I think had it released simultaneously on PlayStation and PC, like sales numbers would have been wild and crazy. And maybe it was they just didn't. I don't know why they wouldn't have the resources for PC ready to go, or why they'd work out a deal where they just have to release it that mad late. But I hope that
And
they avoid doing things like that in the future and going forward because it's not good. It hurts the brand and it hurts
No, I think
the games.
they released Crisis Core Reunion on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation.
Yeah, it came out on everything day one. Yep.
And
And how much
yep,
number did that do?
well, it's a
Crisis Core
it's
actually did extremely well.
I mean it's a but it's also a prequel, and most people aren't big on Crisis Core to begin with. And
I
after
think it did
playing,
all right.
yeah,
No,
after
it was there was a remake. They remade the whole system.
yeah, Crisis Core Reunion. That's what I'm talking about. It was a good
We're talking
game.
about sales, right? Not quality.
Yeah, but um, I can see why a lot of people would not be interested in playing Crisis Core Reunion, especially full of spoilers. Honestly.
Right.
Like, um, if you're new to Final Fantasy VII, you're not supposed to play Crisis. You're supposed to play Final Fantasy VII and then play Crisis.
Yep.
Even
I
though
mean,
it's a prequel, makes sense.
Yeah, because it throws off like it throws off
I mean,
everything that
I just didn't like the gameplay.
I didn't. The gameplay was decent in Crisis Core Reunion, but
Yeah.
but like I said, like you're really not supposed to play Crisis Core Reunion until after you finish Final Fantasy VII, because all the tropes that are in Final Fantasy VII, all the build up to all the major key points in the story of Final Fantasy VII are kind of spoiled in Crisis. like, you know,
Yep.
like the whole Nibelheim incident and Cloud recollection of events and all that. That all gets debunked before you ever even play Final Fantasy VII and play Crisis. I can understand people not necessarily playing.
I mean, but also, I definitely say because I wouldn't say it was spoiled too much. I mean, unless someone puts two to two together for the beginning of chapter 1
You don't have to put two
of
together.
Rebirth.
All there. It's all there in Crisis Core. The whole foundation that Final Fantasy VII is built upon is all there in Crisis. Like all of
Yeah.
it. If you haven't played Final Fantasy VII, you're listening to this podcast. Play Final Fantasy VII, then play Crisis. Play Crisis. But yeah. Did you get cars off?
Yeah.
All right. Well, it is 12:02 Eastern Standard Time. We have people who are desperately trying to go to sleep. They hate me right now, so we are going to roll into outro. Before I roll into outros, greatness awaits. Don't think PlayStation dying would be good. I don't think PlayStation will die. At worst, they will become the Steam of the console. That would be the worst scenario. But yeah. Waiting for all 3 remakes. Tazochi. Hey, I can respect that because you only gotta wait like what 18 more months about because part 3 should be dropping in 2027 on the 30th anniversary date. If my math is correct, that would be my guess. But yeah. That said, let's roll into the. It's definitely dropping 2027. That's I think that's the hard line that it comes to. But that said, let's roll into the outro. Let's see. Kofi was here first. So Kofi, tell people where we can find you. What you got going.
Guys, creative_Kofi is still somewhat active on Twitter. Now that I am out from the 200 plus hours of trails, I'm going to be getting into cavalcade of RPGs that are lined up for this year. Visions of Mana, Romancing Saga 2, Revenge of the Seven, Dragon Quest 3, SMT 5, Vengeance, and Fate Samurai Remnant. I'm just like looking at everything here. And then oh yeah, of course, Monster Hunter. I really hope that we can all get together and really do some Monster Hunter. I haven't touched the game since Zero and our buddy Nemesis saved me from the Reborn DLC way back in like 2019, I think.
It's crossplay between all platforms, so I mean, I'll play it with you.
Yeah.
Might have to drag me.
That's okay.
I
Through the level.
already scheduled. I'm already taking off on a couple days so I can get my Monster Hunter. I said I don't want to do nothing else but
I'm
play
not
Monster
sure what
Hunter.
I believe I still will be working from home at that time.
I won't
we'll
be
see.
back around until after the weekend. That's the significant other's birthday weekend that drops. So,
oh yeah.
The Trump ain't take your remote yet.
Damn, I can't say
don't
that
think
on
it's gonna
stream.
happen.
No, I'll
But,
Kofi. I will say, well, because me and you work in similar areas. Yes, where we work at
actually
is...
we need to talk. I need to chat with you for sure. I forgot. I forgot about our.
You forgot. I've been
connection.
going to work 5 days a week anyway, so it doesn't. I don't care. But
Yeah.
there was a lot of meetings being had.
Okay. Yeah. I definitely need to. Let's talk offline. I need to follow up with you. But yeah, roger that.
Right,
see you guys around
right.
then. But yeah, lots of RPGs. Catch me on Twitter and hopefully posting a lot more now because I can't post spoilers from Trails, so I don't post like when I'm playing. Now that I'm not playing that, I can probably post some other games and have a good time.
Let's see. Nappy, where can people find you? What will you be playing?
Yes, you can find me on Twitter, YouTube, and Blue Sky. All you gotta do is type in Nappy Senshi and I will pop up. If you're looking for some controller reviews, I already showed you the Nixie Master P1 controller, which is already up on my YouTube channel. Also, the Razer Kishi Ultra controller. So this is the controller that works not just on Android and iOS, but also is able to fit tablets in it. So it's a really good controller and works on PC. As far as future reviews go, I actually do have a controller. This is actually the Nexie's forgot what they actually call this, Nexie Flex controller. So this right here is the module controller where you can literally pull out the joysticks and you can flip it around, so you can have it on an Xbox style or you can have it on those PlayStation style. So this is my next controller review that's coming out. And as far as mobile controller reviews, I do have one mobile controller I'm going to be reviewing that's from Easy SMX. And until then, I'll see you guys next time.
Omar, where can we find you?
You can find me at Caravan Ketchup on Twitter and other player podcast every Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Hit that like button, share the stream out. As for me, Nigel, I can play something else because this game is difficult. If you forget your button prompt, it's over. But yeah, have a nice day, everyone.
Right. Jubei, where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me at Jubei X Sensei on gaming platforms, Jubei Sensei everywhere else. Shit, what am I going to be playing this week? I don't know. I need to get back into Wukong and finish that up. I'm almost at the end of chapter 3, so I have like 3 more chapters to go. About halfway through. Yeah, I also need to get back into Starfield and finish up the DLC that came out.
Last but not least, Zero, where can we find you?
0x386 or 0.exe, pretty much everywhere. I'll be playing one of too many games. But I'm gonna try to zero in on Indiana Jones, Metaphor, and Jurassic World Evolution. If I can sort of knock those out before, well, Indiana Jones and Metaphor. If I can knock those 2 out before February, I will feel accomplished. Or before Monster Hunter, I will feel accomplished. I don't know if I could do it or not, but you know, we'll do our best. But that's it. As always, guys, love being here. Glad to be back.
Glad to have you back. All right, I'm your host, Pharaoh. You can find me tomorrow on Point for Gamers, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, we are out. Thank you for getting your weekly dose of that vitamin. Peace.
See ya.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone. All alone.
Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets.
On the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin J, got what you need. Vitamin J, got what you need.
All alone.
Vitamin J. just what you need on Vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this Vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this Vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this Vitamin G. Rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this Vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Got what you need, a dose of this Vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this Vitamin G. Vitamin G.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone. All alone. I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin G. Got what you need. Vitamin G. Got
All
what you need.
alone.
Vitamin G. Hey. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this Vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this Vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this Vitamin G. Rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this Vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this Vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this Vitamin G. Vitamin G. Vitamin G. Got what you need.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin G. Got what you need. Vitamin G. Got what you need.
All
Vitamin
alone.
G. Discussing that heat in the street. Hey, we got just what you need on Vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this Vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this Vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this Vitamin G. Rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this Vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Got what you need, a dose of this Vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this Vitamin G. Vitamin G.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone. All alone. I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin J, got what you need. Vitamin J, got
All
what you need.
alone.
Vitamin J. Ayy. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin J. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin J. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin J. Rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin J. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin J. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin J. Vitamin J. Vitamin J. Got what you need.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin J. Got what you need. Vitamin J. Got what you need.
All
Vitamin
alone.
J. Discussing that heat in the street. Hey, we got just what you need on Vitamin J. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin J. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin J. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in